What's up, everyone? This is Alan. I have my co-host and best friend Saif here,
What
and
is going
today
on?
we will be reviewing the Royal Rumble 2024 edition.
I'm excited for this. I've been waiting a long time for this era's Royal Rumble.
The
It's
no
really exciting.
Vince era.
Well, we'll see. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, and we'll keep that at bay. Everyone's like,
Mm.
"Oh, make an emergency podcast." I'm like, "Bro, I don't know, man. I'm gonna get sued."
You know what's funny? Like we're like we're too big for this. Can't be doing that because we're gonna get defamation of some kind. But I don't really give a shit. Other people do it all the time.
Of course, yeah. What they said to do, just make it known that we're an opinion-based podcast, which we 110% are. So now you can go ahead and say anything you want.
You wanted to start off with that first, real quick, or you
Okay.
want to do a separate one for that? I don't
No,
mind.
we can do a separate one for that.
Yeah. You know what? Stay tuned. Yeah,
Let's
you
stay tuned.
can't give everything away. We'll do a separate podcast for that one.
Yeah. How
Coming
about this
soon.
this upcoming week? How about let's throw in a podcast about that and something else random.
Oh, I like that.
Let's
Let's do
do that.
that. Okay.
But I think I guess there was enough to talk about at the Royal Rumble yesterday. Was it the best Royal Rumble ever? Probably not. But did it solve a lot of the things going into WrestleMania and a lot of the predictions that we were thinking about? I think so. So it was as we expected, I think.
It's funny because I actually thoroughly enjoyed the Royal Rumble. I thought it was one of the best Royal Rumbles WWE has to offer in recent memories. So I read a lot of comments, going through it like, oh, this is the worst one
Hmm.
of the time because of some, appearances that we thought that they were gonna show up but never did. WWE never mentioned that they were gonna bring them over. They never hinted at it. So I don't know why we had that expectation in our head, or I didn't. I was just happy to see all the people that deserve a chance that's already on the roster to get that opportunity, because that's about like, I don't want to use the word grooming, especially with Vince's allegations, but there's a you gotta you gotta groom your talent that you have now so they can be bigger. You give them 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So I really very much enjoyed it. I mean,
Well, the fans never they never get what they want, right?
yeah.
Because when it's there's no legends, when there's no returning superstar of a major caliber, then they get all pissed. But then it's the same people that go on the comments and say, "Hey, why is a legend taking away the spot of an NXT superstar that you should be grooming?" Right? So nobody ever wins, and that's why I liked the Royal Rumble. I probably didn't like it as much as you did, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it did its job, so it was okay for me. Your mic is off.
Oh,
Oh, you had it.
can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Mic botch.
Temperamental.
Temperamental mic botch.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's just those Roman Reigns fans that lifted their finger up the other night. Did you see how many Roman fans there were? I was
Almost the whole
cringe.
crowd.
I was cringing and almost shut the TV off. Bottoms. Just kidding.
They're all bottoms. They're
um,
acknowledged. We just acknowledged them, so
how you acknowledge? Oh God.
Oh
Uh,
God. Well, we'll get into that
yeah.
in what we call snooze fest of a match, second match.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But we'll start off with the initial first opening match of the night, which was the Women's Royal Rumble. But before they even did that, the return of Pat McAfee
Yeah.
was great in my opinion. Michael Cole, Corey Graves, they always have a little thing with Pat McAfee, and I think he does commentary exceptionally well for the WWE. But we can talk about how his role in the Royal Rumble was not as great.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a spot to be filled, and I think we know why,
Mm-hmm.
right? A heavyweight UFC champion who shall not be named, Brock Lesnar, decided to, I'm not gonna say his name because I'm scared. You
Yeah,
know?
he's like Voldemort now. I mean, everyone's name is
Yeah.
like Voldemort.
Yeah. He's also like 300 pounds, and if he touched me, I'd break in half. But
Yeah, hopefully
um,
our 5 viewers don't let him know, you know?
don't let him know, okay?
Yeah, all right.
It's 5 to 6. Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't
So
do that.
pretty much, yeah. I think it was like it's a spot filler. I mean, maybe there was no one last minute, and yes, maybe someone of more importance should have filled that role. So who knows what happened? Within maybe it was a 24-hour notice. Who knows?
Probably
But
less than that.
yeah, true,
Yeah,
true.
who knows at this point. But anyway, I guess we'll get back into that a little bit, and maybe we'll ask each other how who should have took that spot instead
Yeah, that's a good
of
one.
of
Yeah, I
Lesnar.
gotcha.
But we'll start with the women's Royal Rumble. If you don't mind, I'll run through each woman, some less, some more, and we can talk about their impact on the women's Royal Rumble yesterday. So we'll start off at number 1 and 2. One, Natalia, who's been there for many years. Well deserving of her spot, but should she retire soon? Who knows? A lot of people are thinking that. But the real story coming into this was who was going to return, and WWE pulled a quick one with Miss Feel the Glow Naomi, formerly known as Trinity Fatu. And it was crazy to me because she literally lost the Knockouts Championship like a week or two ago in Vegas to Jordan Grace. And now immediately she shows up in the WWE.
Yeah, so with Naomi, I think she's with WWE now, right?
She
I
is.
don't
She
know
is.
if so she did her farewell. I remember seeing that just a clip of it in TNA. She did she got like a standing ovation for that. And I think Naomi entrance was great, and I think her performance was like an hour and change, right? So that was really awesome.
Yeah, second
And I
longest. Second
second
longest.
longest to Bailey. I
That's
think it
right.
was like 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 minute.
1 hour, three
1 minute,
minutes.
yeah, 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Yeah, that's for
That's what I
Naomi.
got here.
Yeah,
Naomi, yeah.
Bailey is 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 3 seconds.
There you go. So, I mean, Naomi was great. I think there was some like very theatrical kind of moves she's done in the match, and that seemed a little bit gimmicky. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy the pace that she was going with Naomi and the other. I'm sorry, not Naomi. Natalia and the other superstars that were coming in. So I think she needs a little bit of work, in my opinion. It just didn't seem so natural flowing. But I'm sure she'll be in the fray very soon. She's super athletic, so she'll get the hang of it soon.
Yeah, I think outside of the WWE, every superstar, every wrestler, they kind of get to show their athleticism a little bit more.
Mhm.
And the WWE style seems to be a little bit more toned down, and not necessarily in a bad way, but just the theatrics aren't as wrestling athletics centered usually in terms of women's matches. I think, especially with the way Naomi moves. But I think her role in the Royal Rumble was kind of diminished in that sense too, because I would say more than 40 minutes of the match, the cameras didn't even show her. She was just kind of laying in the corner being punched. And that, just like that, she has the second longest Royal Rumble time.
I was thinking the same thing because a lot of the times, and that's what's great about the Royal Rumble, because like these superstars come in, they have about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to showcase what you have right now, and then you're gonna get kicked in the corner somewhere. You rest there, and then new superstars come in, and it's like a great flow. But when you have that spotlight on you, I'm sure it's super scary, right? Like for a lot of superstars to kind of do that, especially with so many other people in there as well watching you. So I think it's for WWE, it's less gimmicky because every move that's made, I don't want to say like all the other corporations, in the business, like the super kick or the Canadian destroyer, people keep kicking out and do like 10, 20, 30 of them in a match or whatever, and it just loses its value, right? So I think it has to be a little bit more toned down so the moves look stronger.
Whoa, you hear my dog?
Yeah, I do. There you go. I feel the same way.
Hey, bro, you want to calm down? Okay, you hate Roman too. I get it.
Do you acknowledge him?
He's acknowledging him. Put your
Don't you
finger up.
dare.
Here, you want to see the bro.
I hate Roman too. Don't worry, I'm with you. So yeah, I was just gonna say with Naomi, yeah, exactly what you said. I think a lot of the moves have to be also, in my opinion, have to be toned down on her sense. So, but she'll get into the fray soon, and I think it'll be okay. I think
Yeah.
in the beginning was for me was just a little bit of I don't know, it was very too theatrical for me. The moves, the knee slides, kind of ducking down. It just seemed very slow.
Hmm.
But she'll get the hang of it.
Yeah. And number 3 coming in was Bailey, your pick to win from the beginning.
Yes,
That was my second pick, your first pick, and she went all the way.
so happy.
And I think it's well deserved. There was, besides Becky, in my opinion, there was no other winner in my mind. So she did a great job during the match. She didn't have just the sitting in the corner getting punched kind of thing. She did a thing with damage control. She went to all the big superstars. She had her moves, and she did a good job. So I had nothing wrong or bad to say about this decision.
Exactly what you pretty much said. Like, I think the fact that some superstars come in and they just sit in the corner somewhere or whatnot, it kind of diminishes, not diminishes, but like it takes the spotlight away. And I get that because there's so many other superstars coming in and they have to get their moment too. But Bailey I think she carried the Rumble personally until one of my favorites came in at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get there. But pretty much with but yeah, can't complain. She did her different little bits of storylines with everyone. She got even Michael Cole involved. So that was really great. And then I really enjoyed, and I think my favorite part of this was really seeing her face turn and all the fans kind of getting behind
Yeah,
her.
this was it. This
This
was
was
it.
it.
And what's crazy about it is during the post-show press conference, she said that she never truly had a heel babyface turn. It was always her. She was just kind of adjusting with the times. And I kind of agree. So now that she's won the Royal Rumble, the crowd is behind her. She's already making it seem like it's just herself. So she is already kind of like a tweener in a way, whether you like her or haters. It just goes both ways with her. And she does her character work so well. So she's well deserved. I think she carried the WWE in the past few years in the women's division too.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to continue to carry it. She's getting her spotlight now.
And one thing I want to add about her is when she did the press conference, right? And in the press conference, people were asking her about essentially her gimmick, right? How she became from a hugger to where she is now. And I think what she said was really great, and I think it resonates with a lot of superstars. And I think personally too, right? Because a lot of people say like, okay, you were trying to find yourself, or did you just change your gimmick and you're just trying to see what sticks? And really, she answered the question was like, no, all through and through is me. I'm just trying to figure out who I am. Like I started with somebody I was really, happy with. It makes me happy. So I became this person, or I am this person. Later on, I realized that's not me. And this is what I'm trying to do. But this is just a transition of her character. So she was always true to herself. And I think that's what's more important. So it wasn't that she was a heel or a babyface. She was just trying to find herself like a tweener, like you said. So I agree with that totally.
She resonates with the fans, and that's what makes me happy to like her character, no matter who she
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah, and she's been always herself.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's important.
Mm-hmm. So well deserved for her. But moving on, next number 4, like I said, I was gonna run down the list of women here. Candice LeRae didn't do so much, right? Pixie Fairy did her thing. But number 5 is who I really want to talk about for a little bit.
Yeah,
Jordan
do it.
Grace. I think we were both genuinely surprised when we saw another TNA reference right away, because you can tell this is the start of the Triple H era already. Because when Mickie James came into the Royal Rumble last time, it was because they felt sorry for her and they felt bad for her that they did her dirty.
It's a good
Now,
point. Yep.
it's not about doing them dirty. TNA and WWE are actively working together now under Endeavor or whatever the parent company is. So it's just great all around. And I think when you acknowledge other companies, it's going to make the whole industry better.
It's really cool what they're doing now. Like going to the gorilla, going to the back, seeing the stage. There's a fine line, right? Because there's a fine line between losing the magic of what happens behind the scene, but also showing everybody kind of what it takes to get where you are, kind of thing. So I really enjoy that. And for some reason, I can't really put my finger on it. The production seemed a little different. It seemed more personal. It seemed more theatrical, not theatrical, cinematic.
Right.
You know, it seems even the videos that they were putting out, the production packages that they were doing, right, with a bunch of superstars, and hey, we're getting for the Rumble, and the video was so HD, such a good video package they put together, and I think the craft is more carefully thought out, and it just looks great, and you see it. There's something different,
Right.
and this is gonna be beautiful.
Well, the head of production who worked under Vince before was Kevin Dunn. And I know you heard that name circulating for the past 20 plus
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
He left last month. And obviously, I'm not going to say anything, but he probably left because he maybe knew something. I don't know. Who knows? But when he left, it was officially the start of Triple H taking over both in creative production, everything behind the scenes. So I thought it was, yeah, just like you said, it was a great package, great videos, and I think moving forward we're going to see more of that.
I just with the TNA champ, I honestly, you wonder what the style of WWE and the style of like TNA and other companies will clash with, and maybe will it make it unsafe or not. That was my one worry, like, oh shoot, when she German suplexed Bailey and she landed on her shoulder. Same thing with Bianca too. I was like, oh god, I hope nothing happened. And maybe I get too much into the match,
Hmm.
like as if I prepped the match for them. But that was my only worry, like, them coming out injuring anyone. But I mean, they're the professionals, and I thought she did fantastic.
She was absolutely phenomenal, and I think she represented TNA in the best way possible for the knockouts and the other
100%.
woman on that roster. And I was actually genuinely surprised not only at her coming out, but at how long they allowed her to be in that match.
Yeah,
They gave her
exactly.
so many spots, and that wasn't something that
It's
TNA
not
can
common.
ask for, That this is something Triple H allowed. So I think it's great. I think more of this should happen. And this is going to make TNA people watch WWE and WWE people look at TNA superstars.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. They both are going to make money in their own way. So it's fine.
That's a great relationship because, like, for the people, yeah, exactly what you said. It's gonna draw people. Like, oh shoot, who is that? I gotta go to TNA and watch. You know,
Right.
So that's really great.
Did you hear Triple H at the press conference? He was like, "I'm not gonna mention about any doors. It's stupid and
Yeah,
silly.
yeah, yeah.
But you know what? It's a good thing that it's happening. Jordan Grace is amazing, and hopefully more of this is to come." So I thought it was great. Forbidden Door, my ass, right?
Yo, is Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler? He's in TNA, no?
He's Nick Nemeth in TNA. Yep.
Yeah,
You thought he was gonna show up, wasn't
yeah, I did. I was like, yo, come out right
that
now.
that would be crazy. I think people would insanely pop for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get to the men's
Yeah.
rumble. So
But anyway, yeah, good showing for her. Next few ladies, I don't know if you have anything to say about them, but I'll run through them anyway. Indy Hartwell comes out, has a
I
little.
love Indy.
Oh, you love Indy? Little
Yeah.
the way movement with Candice LeRae in the
Hmm.
Rumble. I don't think anything to write home about, but hopefully she improves. um,
Yeah, I really want Indy to improve as well, like her mic skills. And hopefully she gets to showcase more. Maybe she goes to NXT again because she needs to showcase a little bit more. I mean, I'm sure they brought her on to the main roster for a reason. But we haven't seen anything, and maybe it's just not her time yet.
yeah.
But
So like we said before in like previous podcasts, it's so convoluted.
yeah, yeah,
Too many women, too many top stars. So who knows? Just maybe some time too.
yeah,
Number
totally.
7, we have Asuka, who took one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion now with Kairi
Hmm.
Sane. They beat Katana Chance and Kaden Carter on SmackDown
Yeah.
the night before. Any thoughts on them beating? Was it too soon? Do you feel bad for Katana and Kaden, or you think it was the right move?
Okay, it's a good question. I don't think it was the right move at all. I think Katana and Caden have a lot more to prove, and I'm not sure really why they lost the championship so fast. Um, maybe it's a bigger setup for Damage Control to break up of some, because you have Io as champ. Now you have the Kabuki Warriors as champs. I don't see the hype behind them. I mean, maybe it's just because how they're portrayed here. I know they're, fan favorites. They're amazing wrestlers. They're big in Japan. They're fantastic, but they need somebody behind them to like get them a little bit more popular with the fans because the crowd is dead around them. And I get it because they're so intense into wrestling and they don't really, or maybe again, it's just maybe how they're portrayed. Maybe that's just how they're portrayed because they are gimmicky and theatrical and cinematic and whatnot. But something for me isn't sticking with them, and I just don't see them as like champions right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Katana and Kaden, they were kind of just like blow-by champions, like filler
Mhm.
champions. And I don't
Right.
like how that's portrayed all the time. Do they need to change from their Wraith characters a little bit? Maybe. But
Hmm.
I think if you keep toying with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, no one's going to take it seriously.
I agree. Yeah, exactly.
So
Yep.
you got to keep it on two people that you really think has a chance to keep it for quite a while. That's how
Yeah.
they built. That's how you build people. That's how Gunther was built. That's how
Hmm.
Roman was built. In the first 3 years. Before it's become dry recently. But in order for people to believe in it, you got to let them have a chance to run with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is for me. This is what the Kabuki Warriors don't necessarily need the championships right now to make them look credible. They are credible. They're a credible threat, but Candice and Katana they needed way more. I think
Caden,
the Caden. What did I say?
Candace.
Cadence? No, I said Cadence.
No, he said Candace.
Candice. No,
Candace.
but they both need it way more than the Kabuki Warriors need it.
Right, and the only other thing I can think about is them hold Damage Control owning all the championships, and now they're all like, "Oh yeah, Bailey, you gotta go for Rhea, right? Let's complete the set. Let's complete the group thing." And
Yeah.
then
That I think that's more
yeah,
of what it is. Like, hey, you got to go for, and I think that's where the storyline's gonna be, right?
right,
With Bailey and
and
Io.
Io, yeah. So she's gonna tease facing Rhea for multiple weeks, and then I don't know. I can see Bailey pulling off the Batista thing. Thumbs up, thumbs down, and then
Oh yeah,
beats up Io and Damage Control for going into WrestleMania.
they have the three lamest title reigns of all time. Like people love Io, and I get that, but it's just so dead, just so sad.
Well, they're not putting her in any big fight matches. They're just kind of
Right?
putting them as a joke. So, I mean, Bailey has to win at WrestleMania.
Bailey has to win at
She
WrestleMania.
has to win.
Yeah,
Yes, there's
she's
no other
so
way.
great.
Yep. Number 8 coming in is Ivy Nile. Number 9 is Katana Chance. We kind of talked about these blow by wrestlers a little bit. They had the
Katana.
little
Yep.
35 seconds in the show. Nothing to go home about also. But number 10 came out as Bianca Belair. She had a good showing.
She did. I think there was a great standoff of power in that match. I think a lot of the divas that were in there, well, not divas, right? No, they are called still divas.
Oh,
Uh,
they're WWE's women's wrestlers, bro.
that's
I'm
right, not
telling. I'm
divas no
telling.
more.
Well, I don't have to
Oh,
tell.
canceled, canceled. Yeah, no, I think she had a great. I think she had a great performance, but I think what the decision was made with her was pretty good. I think it's time for other superstars to get a chance, and I think she needs to work a little bit on her mic skills again, um, and give other people opportunities. So
Yo,
I think that worked out.
I swear to God, I think they made that show about her and Montez Ford in order for her to work
Mhm.
more on her mic skills for the actual,
Same,
right?
same,
Don't you think so?
totally, totally. And yeah, I remember there was like a little commercial thing with her and Tez, and Tez was saying like, "Oh, I can't find my place in the business," and she's always headlining WrestleMania. When I feel like it should be the other way around.
Right? He's so good.
He's so good
Come
and talented,
on.
and it's just something that's lacking with her. And maybe it's not her fault. Maybe it's just how she's being set up. No, because she's gotten all the opportunities.
Yeah, she's gotten
She just got to
everything.
work on her. She's got to work on her mic
She
skills,
has a
man.
main event.
And
She has one more main event over CM Punk at WrestleMania. So
yeah,
she has nothing to complain about. So the only thing stopping her from going forward is to continue to work on herself and her promo skills. So hopefully
yeah.
her show, which, all these reality shows, I would think it's somewhat scripted. She can continue to work on that with Tez. So she had a good showing, and I like the way she eliminated Jordan Grace with that kiss of death on the outer ring. That was great.
So with that, right? There's a few superstars when they come in, you feel super comfortable with, right? When they perform. What I mean by that is like you don't feel like they're gonna botch something. For whatever reason with Bianca, I just feel so unsafe with her. I don't know what it is. And I feel like she's gonna like botch something. When they were outside the ring, I was sure she's gonna eliminate herself by accident.
Well,
I was so
her
sure.
hair extensions fell off. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
Go back
I
to
did
it
not see that.
when she did the her finisher. Right when Jordan Grace got eliminated, her extensions fell off. It was hilarious. Like it was literally
So
just
you
dangling.
see, oh yeah, and I mean, you know what, yo, props to her. Like for her wrestling, no one's doing that. Like wrestling with that long hair, not tripping up, doing this day in day out.
Her hair is so long.
Masterful.
Yeah, it is masterful, honestly.
It's masterful, man. Like to do backflips and all these aerial moves while you have hair, you're not tripping on it. Multiple wrestlers, no one's stepping on. It's fantastic. No, it is great. But for some reason with her, I feel like like I'm always nervous around her. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
I feel like she's gonna botch something, but
So
it's just me
so
though.
far so good, right?
So far, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Just with the KOD at the apron, I was like sure something was gonna happen.
But she ended up doing that move well. So
Yeah,
at least
but it was amazing. That's how it had to be for Jordan to be eliminated by because
it
she's
has to
so
look strong.
strong.
I mean, she's the champion on the
Yeah,
other roster. You can't just
yeah,
have her job to anyone. So
yeah,
it looks like a future match to me somewhere down the line if she happens to come over or vice versa. So it's looking good. Jordan Grace is a
yeah.
freaking powerhouse, man.
Yo,
Brawlic,
she's beast.
she's so good. See, we became fans, and I don't even know her.
Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy.
exactly.
Number 11 is Kyrie Sane. Just a little bit about her. I liked her little save that she tried to Kofi us with that little save on the side. But did you think that was a botch when she fell?
I just don't see her. I don't think so, honestly.
You think she just
I
held
don't think
on
so.
and then they just let go of her? Like, oh, she couldn't hold on
Yeah, because I think she had already fallen. Both her feet did hit the ground, and then she just put her feet back up.
without the camera
I
showing.
yeah, without the camera showing, and then Asuka tried to, play it off and help her out, by, like, "Oh, I got you, but but I couldn't get you because somebody else was interrupting." Although if it was something she was trying to do like Kofi like, that was horrible, and I don't know. That was just bad.
Yeah.
But I don't think so, by the way, because I think because Bailey was right next to
Uh
them.
huh.
And Bailey didn't do anything. Maybe it's part of the storyline, and maybe they'll play that into like, "Hey, why don't you save me?"
Mm,
Who knows?
that's true. You're right. It's like, yeah, how come the leader of Damage Control didn't help me out? Maybe we don't
Yeah,
need you anymore. Maybe they might play it back. Yeah, you're right. That could be a thing
yeah,
too. It just looked, even if it was not a botch, it just looked a
hmm
little off flow. Like it didn't seem fit. It didn't fit with the timing of everything. So it just seemed a little
yeah.
off to me. Um,
What did you think? What did you think? Did you think it was a botch?
I thought it was somewhat of a botch. It just looked like Asuka was gonna save her. They were gonna be eliminated in the next minute or two anyway. But I felt like that was supposed to be a moment that was gonna be all over YouTube and how she saved herself. Because there weren't many moments to put on YouTube. From this match. You know,
Yeah, true.
so maybe a little botch, but it can go either way.
It's crazy. I was actually really shocked when Asuka got eliminated that fast.
Yeah, she
Um,
she's a beast. She
yeah.
won the Royal Rumble. Like, is she a joke? She's not a joke.
S- Same thing with Shinsuke too.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that Kyrie. I'm gonna benefit of the doubt this and say Kyrie saying that wasn't a botch, and I think it just happened to play out that way, and it's just not the reaction that they got.
It could be too because the crowd was
Yeah,
almost dead all night,
that was so
right?
dead. This crowd does not. Yeah, they did not. They don't deserve
No
this.
more, no more
The wrestling.
US, no more US shows, man. They got to go to all over the world.
There's so many great wrestlers came out, and there was no
Uh,
pop. Like
you know why,
it's
right?
nuts.
Because they're just waiting for Sasha or AJ.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
it.
It's so stupid. Yo, you have so many great wrestlers in the ring. Why do you care about somebody who's not here?
Everyone's living in the attitude era still. All these people and all their mindsets. They're just they don't care about what's current. They just want what they want. So
Exactly. Yeah. I don't get it, man.
anyway,
But,
screw that crowd.
yeah, that crowd was
Yo,
ass.
I swear I was screaming louder than them.
Yo, think about it. That crowd was ass, and they all pointed their fingers up when Roman showed up.
That makes you more furious.
Bottoms. All of you are bottoms.
St. Petersburg, your bottoms. Oh God,
You're on the list.
you're on the list. Everyone's on the list. Oh God, we're canceled.
We are
But
canceled.
screw that. New York won't cancel us.
Oh, God.
Uh, number 12, who Tegan Knox came in. See, like I said, Michael Cole. What's the first thing he said when she came out? The owner of the shiniest wizard.
right?
That's the only thing I
Yeah.
still know about her to this day. So
That's it, man.
that's it. She got eliminated in like 2 seconds anyway. 13, Kaden Carter came in, had her little moves with Katana Chance. Also, they both got eliminated so quick. They need more opportunity, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a good showing, though. I think it was a good showing for the time they had, for the amount of wrestlers they have.
Mhm.
So, I didn't mind their performance, so I wasn't too mad about it. I liked it.
Number 14, and I thought someone who stole the show besides a debut was number 14, Miss Chelsea Green. Dude,
That was you first. You first.
she's ready,
You
man.
first.
She's ready. Someone's got to push her. She's it. She's got the it factor right now. I think. I don't know about anyone else.
You love her.
Huh?
I said you love
Yo,
her.
I mean, she's a good wrestler. She has a good character that can be a really obnoxious heel in a more
Mhm.
serious way if she could. She needs to get rid of the Karen character a little bit and start showing her true kind of like ability in the ring. If they allow her that, because she was great in the indies, so just throw a championship on her.
I think she had a lot of for the amount of time that she was in there, she had a lot of good memories. Like sh- I was dying. I was cracking up when she was on the ground and everyone kept belly
Yeah,
flopping on her.
she's great. She's art.
And she kept getting up with her eyes rolling back of her head, and she kept coming up back up and then getting down. I thought that was so funny. I thought that was brilliant for what they did with the time that she had. So I really enjoyed her Rumble moments. Great moments.
Yeah, she definitely made some good Rumble moments, and I hope they do more with her. Kind of separate her from Piper a little bit. Who had her little moments with Naya and the whatever she wanted, but I still don't think she's it. Piper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I enjoyed what she could offer for what she has. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but I guess we spoke about her. She was number 15, who came out and helped Chelsea a little bit.
Yeah.
Number 16, also Xia Li. She's got to stop coming out with the swords and screaming "Hi, hi, hi, hi" everywhere.
It's so cringy. That gimmick is so cringy. I have nothing to say about her. She needs to stop this. I'm sure she's a great wrestler, and off camera, maybe she has great personality. Um, they need to stop with this gimmick. It's so horrendous and so bad and screams Vince.
When she came out, I couldn't do anything more but like scratch my head, man. It just
It's so cringe, and I feel bad for
she doesn't deserve this.
anyone that she's representing. I just feel bad for this gimmick. It's just
it's
bad.
me, man. She's representing me. Just me.
Yeah. I had to text you. I was like, I'm sorry.
That
so
that was
bad.
not it. Just make her a wrestler with non-race gimmick, with a non-racy gimmick.
Yeah.
Just please make her a heel that's not Chinese. I don't even know how to say it.
It could be even that, but why does it have to be like some ancient ass fighter who spends more time on outside than in? Like, why?
Just I don't get it. I can't. It like stresses me out that I had to watch that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God. I was like, you're in the state of Florida too. What?
Oh my God,
We're
it's like the
screwed.
wrong place, the wrong time to do it.
Yeah, it's not like you're in Texas. I mean, it's not like you're in
Yeah.
Cali or
Yeah.
or some other highly populated Asian place.
Yeah,
God.
it just she spent more time on her intro than she did in the match. It just didn't work out for me. No, thank
No,
you.
thank you.
Pass, pass, pass,
Yep.
pass.
But number 17, Zelina Vega, had a decent showing. What the hell did she come out with?
That's I was watching it with Yvette and she said it's the Gundam
Oh, was it that?
outfit. Yeah. And she said it right away. It's like, "Oh, that's
Yeah,
Gundam."
she watches a lot of I'm talking about Zelina. I think she's very
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the Comic Cons and the uh anime.
Yeah.
I'm losing my
Yeah,
words.
yeah. Exactly. And it was funny in the commentary. She's like Michael Cole's no, who was it? Corey
Oh, Corey,
Graves.
right?
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you wear that, don't you?"
He's like, yeah, I
When
have
he
it in my
said
closet
he
or something.
yeah, yeah. He's like, "I wear it, yeah, I wear it in the morning." It's something like that, but it was really great. I the commentary was fantastic. It was so funny.
Yeah,
And Corey Graves, yeah,
Pat
Pat
McAfee,
McAfee,
they
Michael
all work
Cole,
well
yeah, so
together.
good.
I mean, those are the three. And a little
Yeah.
side note, I think that's why they released Kevin Patrick because he wasn't that good in the first place.
I think it's the fans too a little bit like pushing them to remove him, which is fine, but like for everybody deserves a chance to improve.
Mhm.
I don't know why they didn't keep him in the back. Maybe because he knew nothing about wrestling. Maybe it seemed like. Um, I don't
It's
know.
something about maybe his accent just didn't work out with the flow of WWE. It doesn't, click, like the way everyone else talks. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Who am I
maybe,
to say?
maybe. Yeah, no, I get that. But there's so many. Like you have Becky Lynch who has a really thick accent, right?
Right.
But it maybe it's a sense of enthusiasm. But like you could have kept him in the back or and kept doing promo classes or something, making him better that way. But to fire somebody, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
seems crazy.
Yeah, who knows? Uh Number 18, Maxine Dupree. I just want to ask your thoughts about that. You probably have more thoughts than I about her
Oh
botch fest
yeah,
in there.
it was so bad. It's just so bad. Like maybe she's too tall to be doing Hurricane Ranas, and you could see her mouthing is just like, okay, one, two, this is what I have to do now. Very unflowy.
Hmm.
I think she maybe needs to stay to like gimmicky moves, like the reverse worm or whatever they call it. Those are fine, and they can do like those gimmicky moves. But doing any athletic moves right now in such huge events, maybe he's not it. But for her to take a chance and do that, that's fine. But and I'm sure people love her just with the gimmick they're in. She has a great opportunity with Alpha Academy as a junior Alpha member, and don't squander it because that's a great, great, great place to be in with them. You
Yeah,
know,
because they're over.
same thing with
They're
Tozawa.
all
Yeah,
over for whatever reason, because they're a great like comedic skit right now. And Chad Gable's a future champion, maybe. Like we said,
hundred
we hope
percent,
so.
100 fucking
I hope
percent.
so. And so if you just stick to your role and know your place in that role, you can continue to make it good. So she's a very good valet. So I think
Hmm.
she should stick to that with the occasional worm, to hit the opposing team's woman character.
Yeah, and I think they need to make her look like she's improving. She can't be just in fear at the bottom of someone's feet. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What that just doesn't work. It's that era is over. That needs to stop. Everyone needs to look like they're improving and they're becoming credible threats. No one can be scared of anyone. You're in the wrestling business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I just don't like those gimmicks. It just makes me cringe. Like seeing like, oh my god, they're like Tozawa's gimmick is funny because he turns the other way, and that's funny. But like, he'll still go out there and put on a show. You know, like Funa, being a jobber is just that era should be over. Jobber era should be gone.
Right. There should
It should
be
be just
no big guy coming out and destroying people, like two handicap matches, destroying two jobbers.
yeah,
I don't think it does anything for anyone anymore. We know you're strong, right? You don't need jobbers anymore. You need a credible feud that will make you look stronger. So you can
exactly.
beat
Yeah,
a person on this roster, but you should set them up not to be hurt moving forward, even if they lose. Everyone should look great, even when they lose. That's
yeah.
all.
if you want to do a squash match, you could do a squash match, or whatever, which is it could be fine. But for people to look scared, intimidated, doing 2v1s, and squashing them, stacking them, pinning them, it's just so stupid. I think that just needs to go away completely.
Hopefully, we'll see some changes. But number 19
I
coming
see it
out,
already. Yep.
Miss Nia Jax. Powerhouse, tied for the most eliminations in the Royal Rumble, 8. What do you think about her performance? Do you see an improvement, or do you think she's just as cringy as before?
100% improved.
Okay.
100% improved. I am a fucking fan of Nia Jax. She's doing great. Um, that's a powerhouse right there. And the way she came in, the way she delivers her promos. If she messes up here and there, so what? She's improving. That's the most important thing. Like, as long as you're improving little by little, that's all that matters. And I thought her performance in the Rumble was
Yeah,
fantastic.
she did. They made her look really
And yeah,
strong, for sure. And I loved that the normal way she gets eliminated did not happen, because every
that's yeah.
freaking year you get 10 superstars to try to get her over the top rope. Man, you don't need that. You don't need that anymore. We don't need the big superstar getting eliminated by 10 people. We know that's going to happen. And I'm glad with the way she got eliminated, because she looked strong in the match, and the person who eliminated her looked strong. So good. Kudos to Naya for the match. I agree.
It was fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
kudos. Cheers. That was great.
Number 20 is Shotzi. Love that she came out in her tank, but did not love anything else about her. So sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, not much to say here with her. I think Shotzi, she's improving too. She's improving too, and I'm sure fans are behind her, cheering for her. So all her side podcasts and everything that she does, it's helping her along the way. So, nothing much to say, but I think just keep improving.
Yeah, keep going. I mean, the fans will like you if they find something to latch onto. So just keep going with something in your gimmick. Something will
Yeah,
work if you just keep going. Hopefully.
yeah. I think she needs to really look at herself and like promote what she's really about. Maybe if this is her, it's her. But keep pressing on the
All right.
gas.
Number 21 coming out, and this was my favorite to win, Becky Lynch. I thought she was gonna go all the way, second to Bayley. So, sorry, her first, Bayley second. So when she came out, I think
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
think she had a normal Becky Lynch showing. But I don't know if you agree with this. It's just nothing that you would write home about either. Just a standard performance from Becky.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Out of all the performance from each superstar in the ring, I was the most comfortable with Becky Lynch's
Hmm.
performance. Um, Whenever she comes out, especially going out to see her wrestle, made me realize how good she is, because some of the moves that they do sometimes becomes out of their control because they can control their body. But she is so good. Like, I did not worry one time that she was gonna botch it or go over the top rope, slip off. Nothing. Like, she's the only superstar aside from Charlotte that I'm comfortable with knowing that they won't mess up, and obviously Bayley. You know, so I thought her performance was great, and I think she got eliminated the way I thought she was gonna get eliminated, and it kind of played out that way. I thought the Rumble was fine, aside from the Maxine Dupree's, and potentially Kyrie's, little botches here and there. I thought the match was great. But there was a certain point in the middle which was really hard to watch. But for the most part, it was great. And after Becky came out, I thought I was comfortable with the whole thing.
Well, Becky's standard. Well, I have high expectations for Becky, right? Because they threw the world at her. She
Yeah,
main evented WrestleMania, so her standard performance is not everyone else's standard performance. So her
yeah.
standard is like you said, it's a comfortable performance. I just know that she's
Mm,
always gonna deliver. But to me, was it a 5-star Becky match? It wasn't, because you can't do that in the Royal Rumble anyway.
yeah,
But I think, like you said, I think comfortable is a good word with her. I always
yeah,
feel like she delivers when the time is right.
yeah. And I think, like, when I said I was uncomfortable in some of the spots, and I'll tell you, just to go back with Bianca, when she came in, she almost tripped.
Mhm.
right? She came in, she jumped
Yes,
over
I
the top
saw.
rope, almost tripped. Even the commentators were like, "Oh."
Oh,
So this this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, you can't even enter the ring confidently.
right. It,
What makes you think I'm gonna be comfortable when you're doing a KOD outside the ring?
exactly. It makes sense. It makes sense why you feel that way.
You
So
know what I mean? Like, it's just, for me, it's all about credibility. And yeah, you will improve and not make mistakes, but these are the same things that keep happening over and over and over again every single time. And I think for me, it started when she was doing like the one hand press, overhead
right.
press, and she almost broke someone's face. I forget who the other person was, but I think it was Charlotte. I forget, but she almost broke her face.
Mhm.
It's like, what are you doing?
Just a little left. She'll get comfortable. I mean, she'll
Yeah,
get comfortable once. She just needs to improve a little bit more. She's
yeah,
there. She has
exactly.
it too, but she just needs a little bit more touch ups. I would say.
Yeah,
22 came out as Alba Fire. She can continue doing her little witchcraft on the side because I do not care. Um, number 23, Shayna Baszler. She still has her number one contenders match with Zoe Stark. As her tag team partner versus the women's tag team champions, which is the Kabuki Warriors. So I don't know where they're going with
mhm.
that. I think maybe they should win as heels, but they're both heels. So I don't really know where they go from here with Baszler and Zoe Stark.
Yeah. I think that's why you need to enter Bailey into the mix, where Bailey maybe distracts them, and by trying to help them, but it doesn't work. But really, Bailey's intention is for them to lose.
Which is revealed
It's like a
like closer to WrestleMania season.
yeah, and it's, oh, I tried to help you, it didn't work. So I think maybe that sense, this is Zoe Stark and I'm blanking again, but Zoe Stark
Shayna
and
Baszler.
Shayna Baszler, if they come out and win the title, that'd be great. Again, another person I'm extremely comfortable with is Zoe Stark. I really do enjoy her performance, and I think her mic skills will get there. If it's not already there, she just needs the opportunity.
Yeah,
I think she's there.
Z360 is a great move. So
It's
yeah,
fantastic. Yeah,
keep
great
that name
finisher.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. 24 was Valhalla and R Truth.
Yeah.
Another great skit by R Truth. Was it his best one? I don't know about that either, but was it hilarious? Absolutely. Like I freaking cracked up.
I think I was reading somebody's theory about what was going to happen with our truth, and it made the most sense, which was this: like him entering the Royal Rumble. I honestly thought he was going to eliminate Nia Jax.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be like, oh my god, no way. But her eliminating him made her look even more credible. Maybe, I don't know, for whatever that's worth, but I thought that gimmick was so funny. I think they make fun of Valhalla a lot with her antlers, because Michael Cole was like, she got her
Like,
antler thingies back.
she's gonna win right now.
She's gonna
She's
win.
gonna win.
Now she's my
Yeah.
favorite. It's like, also this, also the commentators can't get behind some of the gimmicks. You know what I mean? Like, they're clearly telling you like, this is stupid.
Right. Yeah, they're straight up
So
saying. I mean, Valhalla doesn't work for me. Sarah Logan, even initially before the whole Viking stuff, didn't really work for me. So yeah,
yeah,
she can be a good valet though. She should continue to be a valet. In the
yeah,
meantime, and
yeah.
she should wear some boots when she wrestles, because girl, those feet were kind of dirty.
Oh my god. See, that's another thing too. Like, at least tape them up.
That's,
I don't know, unless
I
it
mean,
is taped
you're
up.
not
But
Matt
like,
Riddle, right? So
yeah, yeah. Like, damn, bro. Like, where are you walking to? It is so dirty for.
Vikings these days, you know.
Yeah. Um, but the fact that yeah, nothing much to say for her. But our truth was fantastic. He was definitely he came out to the women's rumble, and I don't know if you saw the backstage thing. It was really
With
funny.
Pierce,
He went with
he was like, "Come
Pierce.
on, like what?"
Yeah, he's like, you made to tell me those were all women out there? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, is this not it? And then he goes like, what happened to your
Yeah.
hair?
He's like, "I spoke to
He's
you."
like, that was
Yeah.
Nick. He's like, Mysterio? He's like, I need a drink. I thought that was so funny.
He like that
Oh
like
my
that's all
god.
improvised. You know what I mean? This guy does not. He's not on. That's not a script. He just says,
He was always a
yeah,
performer.
he's good at what he does. So
for him to come out even when he first started and do his own like him singing his theme song and not botching it every time. R-Truth has been consistent day in and day out. I think he deserves a title run, accidental title run of the tag team
I
championships.
mean, that'd be great. He deserves something there. So he's national treasure, right? We keep saying it. That's the word for him. Future WWE Hall of Famer. Great pick.
I'm rooting for him. He dethrones Roman.
I mean, that would have been awesome.
I'll be okay
Me
with
too.
that.
I'd be okay
Yeah.
with it too. I'm sure everybody would be okay with it. Screw
Yeah.
Cody. Let R-Truth finish his story.
I know he deserves it. He's got to run one title run, but whatever it is, man, like give it to
Right.
him. He's fantastic.
But he does top himself later in the night, in my opinion. But we'll get there in just a little bit. Number 25, Mishin Mia Yim. Nothing from me. Anything, Mishin?
No, I thought she did pretty good though. I think when she came in, she put on her show. You know, everybody gets the 30 seconds to do what they want. You know, put themselves over, and I thought she did her job. I think she did her
Yeah.
job.
I mean, she looked less botchy than a lot of the
Yeah.
women out there. So I thought she did
Yeah.
okay there.
Yeah.
26, Zoe Stark. She had her thing with Shayna Baszler, did her Z360s. Number 27, Roxanne Perez came out. I thought she also had a good showing.
She's one of my favorites in NXT. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I think when she came out last year, she did great. This year, she improved on it. Again, improvement over time, and they have her match. They have their NXT Vengeance match.
Yeah, they do.
For the
Yeah.
title. So I'm actually gonna watch that. I'm looking forward to
Mhm.
it. I really do want to see Vengeance. But I thought she did great as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just on the record, I think Roxanne should lose. Maybe turn fully heel, and then let her have her run after that. Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Fair enough. Yeah.
she's
Let's see
good
how
as
that
a
goes.
heel, in my opinion. She has a look of being like an AJ Lee type character, like this
Yeah,
crazy
she can
chick.
pull that off.
So,
Yeah.
she's good.
I see Cora more of that.
She
Cora.
is. She's definitely that type. That's why her and Punk
Yeah.
have a little. Punk's my uncle. It's like Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
So
Uncle Phil. Yeah.
yeah, so I can see that happening. But they're both in that spectrum of characters. So
Yeah. Makes
I
sense.
feel like Cora and Roxanne just reminds me a little of like AJ and Paige when they were in that era. It's like they're little crazy out of norm characters. We're
Oh
both
yeah. Yeah.
very good
Sure.
in the
Sure.
ring. I don't know. I can see them as a
No. I could see that. That makes
yeah, but she's
sense.
very good. So hope she does more. And this is how you introduce her to like a crowd more. Have her in NXT, put her in a few big matches here and there in the main roster, and when she eventually does come after WrestleMania, she's gonna blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's got a good set of moves. So I'm looking forward to
Okay,
it.
last three here. All right, number 28, Jade Cargill. Her debut. What did you think? How do you think she did? Did she do well?
10 out of 10 performance.
Just 10?
She is my favorite.
Not 11?
She is absolute. Even when Yvette saw her, she's like, "Who is that?" She is a star. She's glowing. I'm like, "That's the glitter." He's like, "I don't care. This is fantastic." Yo, she was so good. She looks like a star. She looks like an athlete. She looks like a perfect package. And when you look for an it factor, that's an it factor. That's an it
Dude,
factor.
she was
Easily.
WWE made. You know who we all never mind.
Yeah, no. Go for it.
No, I would just say like she would fit WWE's bill in any era. That's all I'm trying to say. It could have been in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, any era. She would have fit the bill, and I think that's what's great about her. She not only has the look, but she has the moves and the charisma. It's just everything about her just screams star. Just like Charlotte, right? You walk out and you say this woman is a star. So that's her.
Dude, when she stood in front of Nia Jax, because you go up to them, right? Typically, when you have an athletic build, maybe you're a little smaller. She was the same height, size as Nia Jax, but just such a strong build. No one can touch her. The only credible threat maybe is Bianca Belair and Charlotte in terms of physicality.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have to see what her mic skills are. But holy God, She is the it factor.
You
She is the it
you want to
factor.
talk about glazing? This is glazing. I'm
Yeah.
glazing it.
Yeah. This,
I'm
but
glazing
yeah,
the
this is
donut.
perfect.
That's
Yeah.
glazing.
Yeah. This is the I don't
Yeah.
like, yeah, you would have to, like, what is it called? Sugar, spice, and everything
Yeah.
nice, and you get like the perfect
This is
creation.
it.
That's the
This is it.
perfect creation.
It's funny because we talked about the it factor, right? I just want to kind of correct my point on what I meant by it factor with Chelsea Green. I meant so Jade
Hmm.
Cargill has the it factor to become an instant star, like main event type scene. I think Chelsea is ready to take the next step in general as an it factor. So
Yeah.
just to differentiate the it factors for both women,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think Chelsea's ready to make the jump, but I think Jade has jumped and is already there to kind of take
Yeah.
over. So that's why.
The fact I think also, like, what, we going back to Nia Jax real quick, how I really enjoyed the fact that she didn't get thrown off the top rope by all these people,
Yes.
right? And that was fantastic and makes her look credible and strong. And thank God for that. And then you have Jade Cargill comes out, carries her one arm, flexes, throws her down, picks her back up, throws her out. Look how much stronger she looks. Like she's this, she got the strength of like 20
She
women,
looks like
right?
$1 million.
She looks like $1 million, yeah.
It,
And she's like 7 feet tall. Um, she's
yes.
she looks like made in a machine, like a
Yeah.
lab, straight up. And she looks like an android.
Yes. She wins next year's Royal Rumble. That's my pick right now. No one else says it, okay? She wins next year's Royal Rumble. Hands down.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Nothing else to
Nothing
it.
else.
I think she should get a 10-year WWE women's run. I acknowledge her. That's it, man. I'm with it.
You love her, huh?
Bruno Sammartino's record.
Get
Watch out.
dethroned by Jade Cargill in the next 10 years.
I can't wait. And holy crap, she looked good. She didn't look like she was like marking out or anything like Bianca marks out. Like when she sees superstars
Hmm.
come, she starts smiling and losing her mind. Like she kept a straight face and she looked like she knew she was a star. She came in. She knew it.
Yeah, and the announcers played it off perfect. I mean, the crowd popped for her real good. That was like
Only,
only
yeah,
one,
only
only
right,
one. Yeah,
only
during the
one.
whole women's Royal Rumble. So it was great. I mean,
What does that say?
exactly. I mean, first, right? They were hoping it's Sasha throughout the whole freaking Royal Rumble, but
Mhm.
knowing that she debuted and how good she was, I'm glad she got the reception she got. She deserves it.
The only other person that for me has an it factor in the men's side in all of WWE. Okay, it's very controversial for me, but it was Batista. Like the it factor, right? He had the it
Hmm.
factor. So for me, for the guys, I still have to yet to see it. Not barring Undertaker, Stone Cold, all those guys. Like obviously they're legends. No one can touch them. But and they're on the Mount Rushmore. But Batista had the look as far as I meant
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying, Cargill has that
has
look,
that
similar to
has
what you
has
think
that look.
with Batista. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 29, and I think she's also a future star. Doesn't have it just yet. Is Tiffany Stratton? They made her look
Yes,
so good,
she's
so
good.
good. So it was. I thought she had good energy. She had good you know she has good moves, and I just think she needs to change up her character just a little bit because Tiffy time maybe is not it for me, but her character is good and she's athletic.
Um, I agree with you. I think well, let me ask you this. What do you think she goes from here with her rivalries with what happened with Bianca?
Well, I think after WrestleMania, you get a few call ups, right? You get Tiffany
Mhm.
Stratton, you get Jade Cargill. I think those are the first two that come up. Not that Jade Cargill was in NXT in the first place, but I think those two make the jump to the main roster in general. And I think Tiffany Stratton gets to start off a rivalry with whoever um, whoever she messed with at the Royal Rumble initially. Same with Jade,
Yeah.
but they're gonna save Jade
Hmm.
and Bianca for next year's WrestleMania.
I think yeah, that's a good one. I think yeah, Tiffany is so athletic, man. Like for her to have her look and not necessarily. She's also good on the mic, actually. So I can't even say that. I was gonna say maybe quieter, but she's not. She's good on the mic. She's athletic, and she had a rivalry with Bianca, not Bianca, not Bailey either, Becky
Mhm.
Lynch, and that was really great as well. You know,
Okay, and last one here, number 30. Everyone, they did this little 2-second pause before number 30 came out. And I swear, when they usually do that, it has to be someone big, right?
yeah.
But Liv Morgan made her return, and the crowd just dropped silent. Like, dude, you could hear a coin like hit the floor over there. They were really expecting Sasha or AJ. Maybe I was too, but I was just like, man, this return just did not hit the way it was supposed to.
I don't know. I also didn't feel like she wanted to be there, or maybe she was disappointed she didn't get a pop.
Right.
I don't know. Something in her face just seemed like I don't want to be here, kind of thing. I don't know what it is.
I don't, maybe she shouldn't have been number 30. A good spot for her would have been like maybe like 10 to 15, somewhere in there. I don't know. Just I mean, nothing to write home about. She was also the final three with Jade and Bailey, which was fine. And she was a lot of people's dark horse pick to win the Royal Rumble. But there was no story for her anyway. She still has a long way to go before getting back in that title scene.
Yeah, she's just one of those characters. She's like good as a singles run, but like kind of compact to can't be a credible threat.
Right.
Like she kind of had a similar run to Io. You know what I mean? Like when she was a champion, she was running away from Ronda, she was escaping. I just don't like those types of champions, or how you're made to
Mm-hmm.
be. But yeah, but I don't know. I think we expect so much, maybe rightfully
Mm-hmm.
so, because there were so many teases.
Right. Yeah, and it's tough because, people, there's so much social media, so much online things that we can read, and I think people's expectations are always higher than what they actually give us, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter if it was the best Royal Rumble ever. We still would have been looking at the negatives, as everyone does. We just like to look at the negatives.
Yeah.
But being said that, the Women's Royal Rumble was my personal favorite match of the night compared to the rest. Yeah,
Mine too.
it by
Mine
far
too.
beat the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, mine too. I think well, let me ask you this. Who did you expect to come back aside? Well, I know it's AJ, right? And it's
just Sasha and
Sasha.
AJ. That's it.
Sasha
Those
and
are the
AJ.
only
Okay.
two that
Fair enough.
maybe could have showed up. I think more AJ than Sasha, because Sasha, with her AEW thing, I believe it. Maybe she's gonna make her debut over there soon. So I was just maybe predicting AJ would come out of retirement just for a quick pop and then go back. But maybe she's not cheap like that.
Yeah, I think if AJ were to come back, it would have to be, I'm sure for her, it would be like a short run. I don't see her being like a full-time like CM Punk kind of
Oh
deal.
no, it would just be for like one
Um
match at WrestleMania. Yeah.
yeah, something like yeah, that makes sense. Um but it'd be nice to have her back. She looks great, from all the photos and everything, and she's done. And I think they were working on a show or whatever, but pretty much what I'm saying is like from her photos, she looks best she's ever looked. So it would be nice to see her back. Sasha, I don't really care for Sasha, to be
Hmm.
honest. I didn't think she was good on the mic. I didn't like her wrestling
Hmm.
moves. I never got behind her. Um and what she thinks she's worth, like, she's not Charlotte Flair, she's not Jade
Hmm.
Cargo, she's not all these mega stars. She doesn't look like she has the it factor for me. um and and I know she's dealing with a lot mentally and whatnot, so that too, it's like no excuses, right? Like WWE is a place where you have to be ready to do anything. Like if you have certain roadblocks in your life, like WWE can't stop for you every time, kind of thing. And I get, we get that.
Hmm.
So just my thought. It's just a tough business. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just the life criteria that it demands, and just people can bend over backwards every time for like one superstar,
Right.
right? There's hundred thousands
And
of
I
them.
think that's why WWE is not bending over because they have so many. This is probably the best time, the time of WWE where they have the uh, most superstars in general. They don't have just one John Cena, one Hulk Hogan. They have 5, 6 different people that is on the top title scene, both on the men's and the women's side. So that's why they're not bending over. But I do think another company should bend over for her because she still draws a little bit of star power for smaller companies. She won't draw anything more for WWE because she's done that already. It'd be great to have her
Yeah.
back, but I think another company would value her more, and she should value another company right now more anyway. So maybe it's good. I'm okay with her not coming back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. It's just yeah, there's not much here for her. If she thinks people are gonna like, she's not a CM Punk,
All right.
right? Um, so
Yeah, there it is. Okay, we call this a snooze fest, as for good reason. For the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, we had our Fatal 4-Way, Roman Reigns' first Fatal 4-Way, as Michael Cole made sure he let everyone know. We had Roman Reigns, LA Knights, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. It was a big fight feel coming into this because they're the 4 top guys, alpha males, over on SmackDown.
mm.
Otherwise, big fight like feel, same recipe for disaster.
You know what's crazy? A lot of people were rooting for Randy Orton too, I feel like, including me. Because this is so predictable now, right? And it almost doesn't matter until the end. So I guess that's why it's more of a snooze fest, because there's an expectation behind this going into it, and everything's whatever you want to call it, a filler episode. These are all filler episodes. That's why I think it's a snooze fest. Like, Roman Reigns is not losing his title at Royal Rumble. Like,
There's no
doesn't
way. I
make any
mean, Cody
sense.
was going to finish the story no matter what. So that's why I didn't even get
Mm,
invested in this match. I couldn't.
yeah, yeah, and there's not much to it because you won't lose the title, and yeah, you're looking at the performances, but it's the same result every time. Now, if Roman, here's how things could have been different for me. If Roman beat them clean and finally showed like, all right, you wanna get real, let's get real. And then if he actually stacked them by himself, all 3 guys, I know you can't do that to Randy, and I'm sure he wouldn't be a fan of the idea or whatever, but the only way to change things up and keeping his title relevant is doing what Gunther does. Like doing it clean. Yes, you're a heel. You could be a
But a
heel,
credible heel.
but credible heel, doing it clean. Like, if you're in God mode, that means you could beat them
Right.
solo.
He's not in God
You don't
mode.
need
He's
anybody's help.
in, I don't know. He's playing checkers, not chess.
Yeah, man. And exactly. And similar to like Jade Cargill, like, yeah, she was there for what, 5 minutes, right? I'm not really too sure on the timing, but she looked extremely strong. So Roman being Roman, like, you should be able to beat 3 of them without
Right.
any
But now he
help.
looks scared
It,
every time he's in a ring with anyone, basically. You know?
yeah, exactly. It's like, just maybe that's the whole purpose of it, making his title run irrelevant. At the same time being relevant. I don't know, man. I can't get behind this. Title means nothing to me. It means nothing to me.
You mean his title reign, not the title.
For me, the title doesn't mean anything
Oh, so when
either.
Cody wins, it means
Like,
nothing.
if Cody wins, it'll mean something to me. So it's just about adding value, right? Like, right now there's zero value.
Right.
For me, there's zero value. Like, you can hold a paper plastic for 5
Yeah.
years. It means nothing. Like, you need somebody else to do it. And he was saying, like, oh, what are you gonna do when I'm gone, right? And maybe that's why he's been gone for so long. But for I think it's a slap to the face. I think I've said it before. I think it's a slap to the face for every single athlete that's in the WWE, and for WWE to think that they can't run with the ball. I think it's complete BS. you know, he's throwing out merch. He's like vomiting out merch every 5 days, right? And I don't know. I just can't get behind Roman Reigns. Don't think he's good. Yeah, he's a safe wrestler. and they can't injure him. And I get that. You can't injure him because he has to make it to the big event. I get that. I just can't get behind it. I just don't understand it. I I I, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think we can a little bit agree to disagree because I think the WWE Universal Championship still has a lot of value to it, but I think his title
Hmm.
reign is irrelevant to me. His title reign is
Hmm.
on the island of irrelevancy to me.
Right.
But I think the title itself still has relevancy to me only because Cody is making it seem like it's the most important thing in the world. So that's why
Right.
I think the
Right.
title is
Okay.
still somewhat important. Um,
Hmm.
but I still kind of, I guess, agree with you in terms of how Roman is making everything valued at zero is all. So I think we agree there. Um, but I guess we're just both kind of saying the same conclusion, but just in
Hmm.
different ways.
Hmm.
I think that's just all we're trying to say. So
No, it
yeah,
makes sense what you're saying because like the title still has value. That's the whole purpose of the matches that they're
right.
doing. There's the whole purpose of the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble. So yes, the title, it's a coveted title, so it's totally valued. I just think, yeah, like Roman is just cheapening its
Yes.
value,
Yeah.
because he won't even hold the title, and I get that it's all part of the storyline,
Hmm.
right? Like Paul Heyman's holding on to it because it's like he cares more for the title than really for Roman. He doesn't want to lose it because then he'll lose his relevancy too, right? There's a lot of layered um innuendos that go into it, like Paul Heyman looking at uh Roman. I'm sure there'll be memes like, I wish someone would look at me like the way Paul Heyman looks at
Right.
Roman. All these little things. I get that. I get that. I just it's just it was the worst decision ever made in history of WWE. um Putting him in that pedestal, like he's getting like Bianca, like, right, Bianca got, when you get a forced push, I think it's so stupid, especially if you're not good. Bianca's good, but Roman is horrendous. Like Charlotte Flair got that similar push, but you can't deny it, right?
Hmm.
Same thing, quote unquote, undeniable. So he's not undeniable, he's whack. He's just bad, he has no
Well,
mic
it's time
skills.
for a change, and we know that. So
Yeah.
Cody finishes his freaking story this year, or else the WWE
Hmm.
2K24 game is useless. You know what I mean? That game
Yeah,
is,
that he said it.
yeah,
He
right.
said
He
that.
said that too. It like,
He said
what is
that.
the point of a game telling you you're gonna finish your story when the guy hasn't even finished his story, right? So he's
Yeah.
finishing the story. If Roman is champion anymore, I don't know. A lot of people might stop watching. I don't know.
I it's hard, right? Because like there are people you're trying to please that cannot be pleased. It's like this void, this black hole, and like you got to let stories manifest, right? Like if you gave everybody everything that they wanted within a week, like who would watch it?
Right.
That's also another thing for me too. Like people are making fun of like, oh, the Naruto seasons are shorter than his storyline. Like, no, like you gotta let it manifest,
Hmm.
man. So I appreciate, I like it because that's why I picked Cody as the winner, in my
You
opinion,
pick
because
Gunther.
it's a back to
You.
who I
Yeah,
picked
bro.
Gunther. I swear I thought it was Cody gonna
We
be
have
winner. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Oh yeah, you're right. Gunther,
no, but then you had
but
Cody second.
Cody second. So anyway, but I think, yeah, I think Cody winning makes the most sense for me because he's got to finish his story, and even if he doesn't, who cares? There's got to be adversity too. It's just
He's
what
been
happens.
through
I
way
just
too
want,
much adversity, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't.
exactly.
Listen, WrestleMania is the only time. I don't know if he doesn't. I mean, you hate Roman, man. He's gotta go.
So then what happens at Elimination Chamber, you think?
Punk wins the chamber
Mm-hmm.
for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can get into that in the end too. But I think Punk wins
Okay.
the chamber. I mean, Rhodes already faces Reigns. Maybe The Rock helps Cody fend off Solo at WrestleMania.
That's what
Yeah,
I
at
think
least
too.
to
Yep.
even it out. And the head of the table, they do the 1 year main event thing they did with Cena. Same thing, a year from now,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is fine.
Yep. Makes sense.
Just a prediction. I don't know. I don't really know what they're doing. I think The Rock announced his head of the table thing a little too early.
Oh, a little too
Yeah,
early, huh?
because it's
Okay. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because now the WrestleMania is Cody,
right,
right?
and you have
So
this
yeah, we'll see.
overarching shadow of will The Rock show up now? So it's kind of weird. Like Cody needs his solo moment. He doesn't need any. I don't want him to have any help. Or
Yeah, exactly. It diminishes
right,
it, right? A little
right,
bit.
because he beat everybody else by himself, like Lesnar. So why not be able to beat Roman? Who knows?
Yeah, I guess he would look maybe a little too strong. He fought off the entire bloodline himself. Um, so I could see that too. And but also like it wouldn't make sense Rock helping Cody because
Like why?
if he's gonna betray the bloodline, then how can he be the head of the table?
Right. It just
You know
right.
what I
He
mean?
doesn't play a role in this. That's why I thought it was too early to bring The Rock out. Even though it was great, I still liked it. It was a little too early. So
I really thought The Rock was gonna show up at the Royal
some way
Rumble
somehow.
after the match, and then have a whole thing with
Mhm.
Roman,
Set up
and then maybe
set up
yeah,
the chamber,
exactly.
like their match at the chamber, maybe.
Yeah, and then it would have made sense if Gunther won, and then Gunther challenged Seth. So I would have got that would have went that way too.
Okay, so we have Logan Paul and Kevin Owens too. Just a
Hmm.
few thoughts. I mean, also, like I said, I thought it was a okay Rumble throughout for my personal opinion. But I thought that match, Logan Paul improves each time. His technical
Hmm.
skills get better every time. You know, wrestling wise, energy wise, he plays the crowd better each time. Um, and I thought this had the most. I thought the titles was gonna change hands when Kevin Owens used those brass knuckles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that like got me jumped out of my seat a little bit. So when he used those brass knuckles, I was like, "Holy shit, he's actually gonna beat him!" And I can't. The referee usually never sees anything, and you're gonna tell me that he saw the brass knuckles on Kevin Owens' hand?
These refs, man, they're all
They're
bought.
selective. They look.
They're
Yeah, they don't
selective.
see the heels, but they see the faces. So come on, WWE, Triple H,
Yeah.
let's change that.
Isn't it crazy? Like you would think to check the heel and not the face,
Right.
right? Like when they hit them, like, hey, let me just see how you won. It just doesn't make any sense. I really enjoyed that match, obviously with Logan. Um, and it's crazy, and records speak for themselves, right? Because he had that moment with Ricochet, and it's like the most viewed clip of all of
Right. 36
WWE.
million or something.
No, it was like
Oh,
155.
155?
He was like, yeah, it
Oh,
was. It's
what?
crazy. It's like the highest viewed video of all time in
Uh-huh.
WWE. I can fact check that later, but essentially, um, he made his moment, and it's his. I think it was his one of his first few pay-per-views. Not a lot of people get to do that, and then he comes out here and does this with Kevin Owens. And honestly, man, watching the whole match, I was so happy because like, look who he's doing it with. He's doing it with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, like one of
You
one
know,
of the modern goats.
he is the
Yeah.
modern GOAT. So for him to do that with somebody at this caliber, at a huge event in a singles match and holding the title and then winning, um, it's fantastic. So good
It's
for
good
him.
for him.
Kudos.
So I thought the outcome, him retaining in general was the outcome. So that's why I jumped out of my seat when I thought Owens was about to win. So I thought it's rare that I think DQ finishes are good for pay-per-views, but I thought this time made sense.
It made
So
sense.
so
Yeah.
kudos to them. Another good match of the night. Second best match of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Under the Women's Royal Rumble. Okay, and the final match of the night, the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble, started off pretty hot, died off a little in the middle, in my opinion, and then picked up again towards the end, as expected. But one of my favorite moments of the match was already the first two entrants with Yeet and No Yeet coming out.
Yeah.
So the crowd went crazy when they first came out. They really hyped it up, but I don't know. Do you think they should have saved that moment for WrestleMania?
No, I thought it was a good glimpse because they've never really gone one on one at a event where it was just focused on them and not being interrupted by somebody else. I thought it was a great moment, just to give them a little tease. Maybe they could have not thrown a punch at each other and just kind of stared down for that long. Who knows? To kind of like, feel that moment, keep it going until the entry came in so they never threw a punch at each other. That would have been for me a little bit nicer. But I also get that it could have taken a little bit too long. But I thought it was great. But I just wish maybe there was a little bit of a more stare down.
Right. And I think in the next few weeks, as Cody continues to, get under Reigns' skin over on SmackDown, I think you're going to start to see Jay help out Cody a little bit with Jimmy and everything. And that's going to set up their match. So,
You think this happens this year with them?
yes.
1v1?
There has to be. The bloodline, like the bloodline story over the past 6 months has taken a hit, right? Because there's nothing that was going on. I think this is the time to kind of bring it back up for WrestleMania season and make it interesting again, some way, somehow, whatever they do.
Yeah,
Because
I
it's
agree. Yeah,
they're gonna
for
ride
sure.
a fine line between doing the same things that they did last year, with the same story, and this year with now Jay and Cody on the Raw side. So hopefully they cross paths a little bit more and set up a nice feud going into it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So they had a good little stare down in the beginning, like we said. Number 3 was Grayson Waller. I mean, him in theory, nothing to write home about right now. Stuck in limbo, so kind of
That was really underwhelming for me.
yeah.
Their performance was very, very underwhelming. I did like the part. It's pretty ballsy for him to come out and do like a little promo as he's coming down the ring. So he's definitely got a good future.
Him in theory have a good future. They just need to step it up just a little bit, some way, somehow.
Yeah. It's just a very stale gimmick.
Right. Like, you don't need to be these egotistical skinny boys that try to weasel their way out of everything. It gets kind of boring. You need to look credible. You need to actually win. So I don't know. Just get them some wins, I guess. Maybe get them the tag team championships down the line.
Yeah, and Austin Theory's demeanor,
It's annoying.
the way he comes out and talks, it's like, dude, you're not that
You're
guy.
not a threat at all.
You're not that guy. Don't be talking like that. Like, I don't understand.
Like,
I
if
don't
you
get
cashed
it.
in your Money in the Bank and you held the championship for a little while, maybe you're that guy. But like,
Yeah, it's like you've lost everything. You beat a retired veteran. It means nothing to me.
And that match did more for Cena than it did for Theory, even in that loss.
Exactly.
So it's kind of stupid. Anyway, number 4 who came out, people were so confused when the music was like El Idolo, and I was like, come on, guys. And then when they saw him, they finally popped. Great return.
Yeah.
Great return for Andrade. I thought he did a great job. And he's gonna be, hopefully WWE treats him better this time around because he's a good wrestler, man.
Oh yeah, and he looked great. He looked shredded,
dude. All these people that come back, they're just fucking shredded, man. I don't know what the hell they're taking over in AEW or like anywhere else, but damn, they're jacked.
It's crazy that as soon as TKO took over, everything went out the window. Now everyone's jacked out of their freaking minds.
I don't know. They're not testing anymore or something.
Yeah. So good for them.
Good showing for him. Future person in the LWL helping Ray in the meantime until he goes over to the Legato side with Santos. But I think his first feud coming back should be with Santos.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of I was getting at. It's funny though because I thought they were gonna team up. Although I know he didn't want to at first because he wants to be shown as a babyface. So I get that. But I think them together would be unstoppable. Like that would be a good feud. But it would be nice to see them kind of take over. Santos and Andrade. I see them more of a tag team than than opponents.
And I think that's where Santos was getting at during the match. Andrade,
yeah,
they teased it. They teased it. Number 5, Carmelo Hayes, one of your personal favorites, not to win, but in general. Yes. I thought he did a great job. He's a future US champ immediately, man.
Yeah. He would be a great US champion. His performance was great. I'm not sure how long he was in the ring for, but I think for the amount of time he was in there after, before getting eliminated by Finn, I think he put on a great performance. Yeah, I mean, he belongs on the main roster. You could see that, you
Absolutely.
know.
You know, it's kind of funny. Before you talked about like the safe workers and people you feel comfortable with, because uh, even though Carmelo is so new, even though he had this little concussion thing with Austin Theory in the last SmackDown 2 weeks ago, whenever
Yeah, yeah.
Carmelo comes out, it just feels safe to me. So that's just my take on it. He just feels so safe, and I think even when he looks so safe, he has so much to improve on, and that's what's great about him. He makes the correct jumps at the right time. Like now, it's a jump to the mid
Yeah.
card, and then he'll know when it's his time to jump from the mid card to the main event time. Like it just has a good progression for me.
Yeah, I think right now he has a lot of challenges
Right.
ahead of him because I think, to be honest, I think Trick Williams is outshining him a little
Mm,
bit,
okay.
because when Trick came out to help Grayson, to came out and help Carmelo against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, people were going nuts for him. I don't know if it was, um, audioed in or not, but they had a great performance, and I think the fans were really behind them. So I thought that was really great, and I think I would like to see where this goes between them. Definitely a rivalry coming up, very very soon. So yeah, this was a good moment for them, and I think that would be a great call up for Trick and Carmelo. Maybe not yet because there's so much happening right now.
Right. After WrestleMania.
um, After WrestleMania, it makes
Hmm.
sense, but yeah.
Number 6, Shinsuke Nakamura had a typical performance. Always does well. Another safe worker and just
Hmm.
one of the Japanese goats, I guess.
Yeah. What did you think about his elimination?
Um,
Too soon?
no, I
Perfect?
thought it was a little too soon also, but at the same time, whenever it's a too soon or perfect, it doesn't change the outcome. We know Cody, Punk, Gunther, Drew, we're gonna be the final four anyway. So, but I did think
Yep.
maybe he should have gotten a little bit more time.
Yeah. Especially being
Yeah,
a winner,
exactly.
right? The Rumble winner, especially being a Rumble winner, like getting eliminated was I don't know what year it was,
2017.
2018, 2019, 2017. So yeah,
Wait, you're
so
right. It
maybe
could
a
be
little bit longer.
2018. No,
I thought it was
2018.
20
Him and
I thought it
Oscar
was
won on the
2018.
same year, whatever that year was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They won the same year. Yeah, I think yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, just one comment for me was him getting eliminated a little
Right.
too
I
soon.
agree.
By the right person, yes, for sure. But I think a little too
No.
soon.
Number 7, Santos Escobar came out, had his little. He's a super good wrestler. We always talk about how fast he is, how accurate he is, and he's gonna go far as a heel, but only if Triple H allows him to continue doing his thing. Like they can't water him down with the promos or having him win everything with his little crew. Just like you said, you got to make it credible. So he has to win a few good matches.
Yeah. For me, he doesn't really have that
Hmm.
athletic build. I think maybe he needs to work on that a little bit. If you want that perfect package kind of thing, like, you want to put yourself on the map, right? Like you want to represent your country, you want to represent yourself. Right now, I think Andrade
Yeah.
has that
Well, that's
for
why him and
sure.
Andrade are gonna battle it
Um,
out for sure.
yeah. And I know Andrade needs help because he's not very good, the very thick accent. So he needs somebody to help him out. And I don't know if that's gonna be Ray or who it's gonna be, but he
Dude,
needs somebody. He can't do it
It's
alone.
very clear Zelina's gonna back up Andrade just like old times.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's gonna be
Yes.
awesome. So she can be the spokesperson for him still.
Yeah, and it'll
Yep.
help her
And then
too.
they're gonna think about all the old times when he was NXT champion, US champion, or Intercontinental, whatever he was back then. So it'll be great. Dude. All right, number
Yeah.
8, Karrion Cross. Let me just say one thing about him. He's not it.
They've tried. They've tried plenty. They've given plenty of opportunities. Um, this black and white gimmick is great, but it's not for him.
I keep trying to give him chances. I want to like the guy, and we said it when we did the SmackDown review. I just want to give him
Hmm.
a chance because I like he can be good, but every time he comes out, I just don't. I don't have a reaction. I'm like neutral. I'm like on my phone or something. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just not it. So I hope Bobby Lashley beats him, but even though they're not going to, the New Testament versus the Pride or whatever rivalry,
Yeah. The
the
Pride.
Pride.
The Pride. Yeah.
Yeah, Karrion, I don't know. He's gonna win the feud, but I think Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits are gonna come out better from it.
Yeah. I think Carrion's got to use this opportunity to make himself look good. Like when it's black and white gimmick and then you're coming out all aggressive and fast and you're not playing the gimmick, like you have to understand you have to be involved in your craft, right? Like how do you present yourself when you're coming out? Like you come out all goofy and shit and then your theme is black and white, kind of noir, like it's dark. You don't represent that at all. So I really enjoy this gimmick, but it's not for
Mhm.
him. Like it's gotta be for somebody else. Scarlett Bordeaux fits
Right.
it.
It's because she wears the gear. She
He
wears the
does
gear
not.
for it.
Yeah.
Authors of Pain even could
Yeah,
back them up
she
correctly, but he, as a leader,
mhm.
needs to look more menacing.
Exactly. That's what it is. He does not look menacing. He looks like cross-eyed. He looks like fucking Festus to
Exactly.
me.
And you're
Like,
hiding behind Scarlet, right? So what is this? Like, how am I gonna trust a leader who hides behind like your manager slash wife? Like, it doesn't make sense. Your mic is off.
this is exactly how I feel about the
Yeah.
bloodline. Is the same thing. I don't understand this hiding
Yeah.
gimmick.
It makes no sense to me, but um, yeah, I hope they do something better with him. Number 9, Dominic Mysterio. You know what? The kid keeps improving, man. Every year. He had a long match this time. I don't know how many minutes it was, but he lasted a long while before Punk eliminated him. So
Yeah.
he just keeps getting better, and we can get to what R-Truth did with him later in the match. So
Yeah. I think he plays his role
mm,
really great. He does what he needs to do,
yeah,
I mean, but also not everybody can improve so fast, so quick with the time that they have given and whatnot. So he's just playing it right. I mean, let's see where it goes
yeah.
from here.
Number 10, Carlito comes out. Obviously, did his thing with Santos, a little rivalry he was getting. What do you think about his performances recently? Because I think every time I look at Carlito, I see a person who used to be a little bit agile, a little bit more, kind of like fast paced. I know he's a little older now, but I think all the muscle is stopping him from moving quick. I think he's too jacked.
Um, Maybe. But the thing is, I don't really know what his character is.
He's
Like he looks like a heel to me, and he doesn't look like he belongs as a babyface. That's just my opinion, and I don't think you necessarily need to be just because I don't know, like I guess a Hispanic background, whatever. Like you need to be an agile
mhm,
luchador. I just think that, like, because like Andrade, right? Like you could be someone like Andrade, a little, but a little bit less maybe mobile, whatever. If
well,
you
I
want
think
to
it's
do
okay to
that,
be slow. There are slow wrestlers, but their timing of
yeah,
the slowness matches when they wrestle. I feel like
right.
Carlito, although I love him, he's
Mhm, mhm.
his slowness doesn't match the flow of the other slowness of the match, like the other wrestler slowness.
Sure,
Just to me,
sure.
it just seems like the timing is off. Maybe.
Yeah, so I guess it makes sense when like the wrestlers get taken off and whatnot from pulled from TV or whatever. There's a really good reason why, and it's starting to
Hmm.
show. Because I'm not really sure what this story's about. Honestly, I get the LWO rivalry, but a little bit, but doesn't stand out to me. It's not
Right,
interesting.
and then it's gonna
You
be
know,
Ray versus Santos, and I just feel like it's just another filler match now. Although that has to be the match at WrestleMania.
it does, but I think they really need to want this. They just look like they're just clocking in for a job, and they're just there, they're just happy to be there, kind of thing. I don't see anybody stepping up to the
Yeah,
plate. Like Santos maybe. Zelina is there. And now Andrade. They really needed Andrade badly, so hopefully he can do something. But they just don't seem like they have any star power. For me, Santos doesn't have star power. He doesn't look like he has somebody who's an it
hmm
factor. He just looks like a jobber to me. Um, he is good on the mic. I'm not gonna lie. He's pretty decent on the mic. But nothing much going on there with Carlito and all those guys. They need to do something. They need to
Well,
come
the
up with
only
something.
person I think that has to step up is Santos because he's like the leader of his little crew, right? It can't be Carlito who
Mhm.
steps up because he's not really involved in the future WrestleMania match. And so Andrade really, if he's a babyface, has to pull something out of Santos before Ray comes back. Because if you don't make Santos
Mhm.
look like a big heel, what's the point of having Rey Mysterio face him? It doesn't even matter who wins. Then you already know Santos
Exactly.
is gonna win. But if you're not a big heel, it doesn't make you look credible either. It just makes you look weak after beating Ray.
Yeah. Also, like, does Carlito even want to be in a tag team? Does he want a
Right.
solo
We
run?
don't
Does he
know.
want like a tag team? Does he like backing people up? He doesn't seem like the type. Um, he always seemed like to me like he wanted to be in the spotlight and not behind it. So,
He needs to eat more
I can,
apples and spit in the face
yes,
of people who don't want
that's
to
the
be
thing.
cool.
Exactly. Although I hate that gimmick. It's so fucking unhygienic. I don't get it. Just like the mists, but whatever. To each their own.
You're a germaphobe, bro?
No, but when someone spits in your face, I
Well,
am.
that's a good heel move.
Yeah, unless it's Jade
Oh
Cargill, then it's
no.
fine.
Let me jot that down. I'm reporting.
Do it.
um, number 11 is Bobby Lashley, and he has a little thing with the Pride. Didn't look too strong like he did previously with like Lesnar and the other legends in the Royal Rumble. But I think it was a good way to progress his feud with Karrion Kross for now.
Was it just me or Tez and Hawkins didn't
They
show
weren't
up?
in the Royal Rumble, but they came out afterwards to help him, like
Yeah, yeah.
with the Authors of
Yeah.
Pain.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
fended
yeah.
them
Yeah.
off together, but they weren't really in the match. I thought they were gonna be in the match, like Tez at least.
That's what
What
I'm
are they
saying.
doing?
Like, that's why the Rumble didn't make sense to me. And I hate when they, okay, just because I have a big ass faction, I'm not gonna put in these people. Why isn't Tez in the
Right?
ring?
Like this dude's a good wrestler, and I just don't get it. Like you have to throw someone like that in because he was in the Elimination Chamber before solo, you know. So why not just
Yeah.
throw him in the Royal Rumble, have a few big spots, and then have like Braun Breaker eliminate him or something, you know? So it just doesn't make sense to me.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. They're missed
Yeah,
opportunities right
too
now.
many.
They could be huge stars. Like Tez got the it factor. Tez got the look. Dawkins could have the look too. He's got on the mic. He just needs an opportunity. I think they're
Yeah.
all good. So hopefully this sets them up for
You
something
know who
greater.
is getting an opportunity though? Number 12, Ludwig Kaiser. They're giving him
Yes.
a little bit of a spotlight here and there. You know, when he comes out, he does this little manner. Everyone was fighting. He
Yeah, his
has
mannerisms.
great
Yeah.
mannerisms, and the fact that he's out and not Giovanni Vinci means that they're trusting him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was really nice too. Yeah, he has a funny gimmick too, like how he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, get
he's
away from
great.
me! I'm too royal for this." So that was pretty good too. And for him to get eliminated the way he did, that's fine
Yeah,
too.
it,
You can't be in with Gunther, so it's too powerful. OP, I
yeah, I
get
had no
that.
problem with him in the match. He didn't do anything crazy, but I think they're gonna push him eventually. Hopefully.
You think what's his future? Kaiser's future?
Uh, Future Intercontinental Champion.
Recent
No, later.
or
No, he has to break up from
later?
Imperium
Okay.
first, but I think he's gonna be the heel, and Giovanni Vinci might be the face for whatever reason. But I think Kaiser's gonna get out of that feud as the bigger star, and then Vinci will be a jobber.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
it sucks.
Yeah,
I like
I
how he
think
wrestles. I just feel
yeah.
like that's just how it's gonna go.
They really got to step up. Like you're on the TV, you're getting opportunities, showcase what you have. Can't be nervous. I mean, you are nervous. You can't control that, but yeah, you're given the opportunities. You got to take them, and obviously the way to take it is with your facial expressions, your timing, your mannerisms, your demeanor. That all ties into play. You can't just ignore what's happening around you, right? Like, if you are this character, you have to make sense that this character works with what you're working with. You know, yeah,
Yeah, hopefully,
agreed.
hopefully he gets some more time soon. Number 13, Austin Theory. We talked about him and Grayson Waller. Not really anything to write home about either. Number 14, Finn Balor came out. Where do you see him and the tag team titles moving forward? Because they're gonna have a championship match with DIY on Monday.
Yeah.
So, do they still win? Do they split the titles soon? Where does he go?
Oh yeah, yeah. Totally. No, I see them winning. Like, they're not losing to DIY. I don't think DIY is very charismatic. Ciampa's great, obviously. Gargano's great for sure, but there's something about them. They don't have that appeal to me. For me, Ciampa does. Gargano really doesn't. Something else needs to work out between them. They just need to keep pushing and be a little bit more maybe animated. Because again, you could tell who's just focused on wrestling, who's just focused on the mic skills, and who's got the both, which is the
Right.
it factor. So I see them more focused on one thing than another. Like, I see them really focused on their move sets. Like, okay, I got to work on this, and then this is coming next. And something about them I'm not really enjoying. But for me, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, animated, good at wrestling, setting things up. Their facial expressions are good. And Finn is just doing his job. You know, he's a champion caliber wrestler. He's a world championship caliber wrestler.
Oh, and that's why
So he's just doing what
the
he's doing.
Judgment Day is on top on Monday Night Raw,
Yeah,
as they should be.
as they should be.
But they're gonna have to lose the tag team titles down the line, and they're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
convert those SmackDown and Raw tag team championships.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you
got to
gotta
split
split
it,
it.
and you got to make them World and WWE tag team titles again, like just like it was before. And they already did that with every other championship. I guess they're just holding it back because the tag team titles still plays a vital role in the Judgment Day, in general. That's the reason. It's part of
It's
their
part of their
storyline,
storyline.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just it's just
Yeah.
not an afterthought.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe they lose it at
So yeah,
Elimination Chamber for whatever reason. Yeah, and
yeah,
maybe
that would be
maybe
nice.
R-Truth screws them out of a championship match. You know,
Archer's gonna definitely screw them out of their
right?
championship match. Yeah, or their
Something.
contract, or something's gonna
Right.
happen. He's gonna, like you said, they may replace a contract with a bunch of briefcase because he's like, "What's the pass? Go to the briefcase." He really
Right.
wants to get in there. R-Truth said that, like
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
one of the matches. So who knows if he doesn't replace it? He does replace it.
Yeah.
They play on that a
He
little
might
bit.
sell the
So
Money in the Bank
yeah,
briefcase for money.
for
Yeah.
money. Yeah, I could
That'd be
totally see
hilarious,
that.
and I'd be totally okay with that too.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Damian
Yeah.
Priest. His facial expressions, his demeanor, how bad he can get, like like a badass. How comedic he can get. So it's really great. It's really great what they're doing with it,
All right.
for sure.
Number 15, the American Nightmare, as we know. Most people's favorites to win, besides Punk, was Cody Rhodes. Came out, had a great
Hmm.
showing, never disappoints anymore. I think right now he's on the top of the world, so they should give him the top of the world and just let him have his story so he can move on to different rivalries, maybe have a heel turn down the line, something, because everyone needs a character change now moving into WrestleMania.
Yeah. What do you do you agree with this win though? Do you think that he should
Yeah,
have
I
won?
said it was going to be Cody or Punk. And then Gunther
Right,
was
right.
thrown in
Okay.
because I was thrown off by uh, Lesnar not being there when I heard about that, because I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be
Hmm.
Gunther and Brock Lesnar, but when we found out about the Lesnar thing, I was like, oh, maybe Gunther has a chance of winning now. Um, but my original was gonna be Punk, uh, Punk, Gunther, Cody, something like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, I agree with the win. Yeah, I said either way, Cody was gonna win the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber, or vice versa with Punk.
Yeah, I got so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, that was my pick!" But then I remember, yeah, it was like Gunther or something, and then Cody was like the second pick or something like that. Yeah, I mean, he's got to he's got to
I
finish
have
his
no
story.
problem with the outcome
But
though. It is what it is.
no, I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, same. And he's like in the best condition right now to kind of go out and challenge somebody for the title, especially Roman Reigns, because no one else is credible, right? Like no one's had the run that he has. Drew can't win but lose to Gunther and then try to go face Roman Reigns. Like it wouldn't
Yeah.
make any sense, And CM Punk, maybe he would have been a good pick, but he's just way too out of shape. Like that's the problem
Man's
with right
old.
now. Like you could just see he's just gassed out of his mind right now. You can't be carrying the title if you're like that. So you got to go back to training camp.
You think
You
you want to take him on
train.
for the championship?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
CM Punk. Fuck yeah, I'll run circles around him.
I would love to see that.
His
Belly
belly,
flop each other.
yeah, exactly.
Belly
Belly
flop each
flop
other
each
like
other. It'd be
Bronson Reed.
fun. Yeah.
Tsunami.
No, yeah.
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
But the only reason I said that was because he was next at 16. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
he's good too. I think he's a future champ, Bronson Reed, and he can always carry like 2 or 3 people on his back. So I have nothing wrong to say about him during this match. He got his moment. But again, there's a lot of not even top level superstars. There's so many mid card superstars that can hold the title. So he needs a good rivalry, someone other than Ivar going into WrestleMania. Maybe Omos. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that's really what it is, right? Because he had that little spat with Omos, so I think that would be the next rivalry, and maybe they go into WrestleMania or maybe Elimination Chamber, and they do their little rivalry
Right.
there. Um, no, Bronson's great. I really like
Mhm.
Ivar, so, but yeah, I could see like a little mid card singles rivalry going on, doing their
Yeah.
thing.
Um. Yeah. I mean, otherwise, he'll be stuck in limbo too if he doesn't get another match. There's nothing going on. Number 17, Kofi. He came in tied for the second most Royal Rumble appearances at 16. I think only behind Kane. Not sure how much Kane had.
Yeah.
Maybe like 20. He had a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Kofi, he just had a standard Kofi match. Do you remember how he got eliminated? Because I'm blanking. Because I totally
Kofi.
blanked. Did he have a moment? I don't remember a moment. He didn't,
No, he
right?
didn't. He didn't have a moment. I forgot how he got eliminated actually. Oh, he got eliminated by
Was
Gunther.
it Gunther?
Yeah, he got eliminated by Gunther, and he eliminated
Oh, that's right. That's
Kaiser.
right. Yes. He did get eliminated by Gunther. Well, because they have the little rivalry going on over on Raw. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and he did have a moment, and I'm really glad they got away from like the
Mhm,
gimmicky
mhm.
shit where they try to get him to jump on chairs. I think they should forget all that bullshit, forget all that whack garbage, little gimmicky moments, trying to hang on the ropes as tight as they can or jumping off other people. It's showcase their wrestling skills. Forget about all that shit that may not work. Focus on stuff that does work. Why break the wheel if it's not
Right.
broken? Or why try to fix it if it's not broken? Like, just focus on that. Like, we finally saw Kofi in a match because back to back to back WrestleManias, Royal Rumble, he literally couldn't even get in the ring because he did his stupid gimmick shit and
Right.
didn't work. What's the point? Like, it does nothing for anybody, doesn't add to him, it makes it worse. Even if he were to make it out, he would just have those little YouTube shorts for 5 minutes. Now you can build on character, you can build on all these things, and I'm really glad they got away from it, and they're showcasing him, his rivalry, what he's about,
Yeah,
what he can
I
do.
think him not being eliminated in that style of elimination this year, it just made sense for his storyline. If he
Yeah.
didn't have a storyline coming in, I would have been okay with him being doing the gimmicky thing, because then he wouldn't have
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
moment in general. But his moment was the rivalry with Imperium, so that's why, just like you said, I'm okay with it. Otherwise, I think the gimmicky thing would have worked for me, only because he wouldn't have had a moment otherwise. Yeah,
Right, and that's my problem, right? Like, why shouldn't he have a moment
yeah,
otherwise, right? Like, there's so many other superstars out there. There's so many other people. Like, the creative direction. Just because you have these 5 amazing superstars who have a storyline doesn't mean everyone else should get neglected. Everything should be simmering in the back, right? We're multitasking here. So everyone should have a storyline brewing to a certain point, So yes, if everyone's wrestling at a high level, maybe people get bored of it, and maybe we do need spots, but there could be like safer spots, right? Like the KOD was more or less a safer spot because they were still in the, they were still in the ring,
Right.
more or less. You could do it off a top rope kind of thing. You don't need to go jumping on a chair with slides and you have no control over, you know. So like those little things, I just don't see the point of it. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And then, number 18 was Gunther. We already spoke about him and his rivalry with anyone. He was going to be the final four. We already knew anyway, a favorite to win of a lot of people. Number 19 was Ivar. Also did his thing, just like Bronson Reed. They always have their moments on Monday Night Raw. And they had their moments in the Royal Rumble. Also stuck in limbo with Bronson Reed. So I hope as a single star, him and Bronson Reed both break out very soon.
Yeah, same. I think they have a little bit of a Sammy KO thing going on. You hate each other, and come back together. Not yet. They don't have that, but they have that potential. And I think Ivar and Bronson bring the best out in each other. And Ivar is
He's
really
great.
good
He's
for his
great.
size. He's fantastic. I love Ivar. I'm a fan. And I think he's getting there.
So hopefully him and Reed get somewhere. Number 20 was Braun Breaker. A lot of people thought that he took Lesnar's spot in this match. I did not think so. I thought he was going to show up at number 20 anyway, because if you look at the order of the next three, number 20 was Braun Breaker. Number 21 was Omos. And number 22 was Pat McAfee, right? 22 was Lesnar's number, in my opinion. Because you had Breaker and Omos, these huge guys that come out. And if you had Lesnar come out, Lesnar had already faced Omos before, and then him and Braun Breaker could look each other in the eye and have a moment. I think that was the original plan.
I think the creative direction that it took replacing Brock was really good, because not only you made Braun look really strong, and he performed really well, right? Like he took out, here I have a list actually. He took out Finn, he took out Jimmy, which I was surprised that he took out Ivar, and he took out Bronson Reed, and he did this all in 5 minutes.
No, I mean, did you think Braun Breaker replaced Lesnar? Because I didn't think so. I thought he was always going to be there.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Okay,
Pat McAfee, definitely. But I'm just saying, in terms of like if Brock came out, I believe those eliminations were his eliminations, but Braun did them. More, you know what I mean? Like for me at least, because if Brock came out and Braun Breaker was there, right? Like then who's Brock eliminating?
Gunther.
Brock's just one person?
Yeah.
You think?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like I feel like Brock would have came out and started eliminating a lot more people, in my opinion. But go for it. Let me hear. How do you think it should have played out?
Because I think the style of Royal Rumble was a little different than others, because Brock wasn't the headliner or the main guy, because in a lot of Royal Rumbles, he's held as this big star who's going to challenge Roman Reigns for the title every year. But this time you got people like Bobby Lashley who came in here. Bobby Lashley only eliminated a few people, and
That's
then
true.
he had his little rivalry. So I think Lesnar's role in this Royal Rumble originally was to set up a match with Gunther. So he would have eliminated Gunther, or vice versa, or Gunther would have eliminated Lesnar.
Okay.
Like soon. And then
like last year, kind of what happened.
Exactly.
Where
like they have their little moment, and then that sets up their match this year. Originally. That's just my opinion.
That makes sense.
Because him having a lot of eliminations wouldn't I guess do anything in terms of his storyline, because Lesnar's already a monster, and so he didn't need to look like a monster.
Yeah, and I get that. That makes sense, because Braun Breaker has a lot more to prove.
And I agree with his 5 eliminations.
Right.
It was great.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, now we get into the little comedic skit that we both loved. JD McDonald's and R-Truth comes in. Right? R-Truth immediately comes in at the number that he was supposed to come in at, 24.
Yeah.
And this dude is gonna tag in. Trying to tag in.
It was the best. It was so funny. like the fans got behind him. See, that's why the fans they were better at, for that. And I think they should have been a little bit more lively for other things similar to it. But I guess, to each his own. When he was trying to make the hot tag, and he was clapping and the fans were clapping with him, getting
Yeah.
behind him, that was so
He
great.
probably got like the second biggest pop of the night in this match. You know,
Yeah,
first being like Jade. Yeah,
behind
exactly.
Kincaid.
So, dude, is like that's organic. That's organic, and it's really hard to kind of like teach that, to other superstars and wrestlers.
Oh yes,
He
I
just has a
agree.
natural
I
ability to
agree.
make people laugh and get over at the same time.
Yeah, and then he didn't even have a lot of time, right? So for him to do that within like the 5 minutes and win everybody over, like that's exactly what you said. It's like some those things cannot be taught. And for whatever time you do have on screen, for you to go out of the box, think outside the box, and do what you're set to do, and get the crowd behind you, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Like
dude. And then when The Miz came out at number 25 next,
yeah,
he had his little moment with The Miz and R-Truth. They did their little thing. Did you see? It was awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the crowd was also behind that. So it's just it continues to be great. He doesn't ever have a bad moment in recent memory since he came back. It's freaking great.
Yeah, I'm so happy for our truth, and I'm really happy that they're letting him do his thing.
Yeah, I feel like there's
You
just
know?
no script, no bullet points. They're like, truth, you exactly know what to do already. Like
Yeah, yeah. That's a legend right there. Like that's a championship caliber
exactly.
guy. Cause like now yeah, it's like again, it's those things, right? Like wrestling, mic skills. Some people have one, some people have the other, some people have both. So he's kind of in a limbo. Like he has everything. He's charismatic, but maybe he just right place at the wrong time.
Yeah, most of the time with the championship stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, back then.
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, he's found a solid place in history. So
yeah.
everyone's appreciative of what he does. Number
Hmm.
26, Damian Priest came out obviously. With the money in the bank holders, they never really look as strong as they're supposed to, with good reason, because they're supposed to look weak until they cash in their money in the bank. So he did his
Hmm.
job in the match with the Judgment Day stuff. But they
Yeah,
didn't really progress his story in wanting a championship yet, because he still looks kind of like dilly dally, kind of dumb with the money in the bank stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be difficult for me, I think, because it's with Seth, right? Like, it's not that he's
Hmm.
gonna go after Roman. So to him to build up against somebody specific, um, would be difficult. And I think his storyline with Judgment Day, it just what for me, what I took away from that was just internal explosion. Like he eliminated truth, right? So like it's just an internally imploding kind of thing. So, like you said, I think he played his part really great, and it's such a small part, but it's such an
Yeah,
impactful part.
so it,
You know,
so it was good. I thought.
like yeah, exactly. And it doesn't make sense for him to win. Doesn't make sense to be top. And he was like top
Yeah,
six,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Top
He was
seven.
up there,
Yeah.
top six.
So he did his part. He did it. It's not like him winning would make sense, or even making him top three would make sense. Nothing else makes sense aside from what he did, and I think it
Yeah,
was
and I hope
perfect.
his future cash in, not saying it's going to be successful because I think it's going to be failed, but I hope at least he makes it interesting enough.
When do you think he
Well, I
does
thought
that?
he was going to do it before the Royal Rumble or at the Royal Rumble, but that's when Seth had a match originally. You know, now that Seth's injured,
Yeah,
possibly until WrestleMania, who knows? He might jump in at WrestleMania with him and Punk at the end. You know, yeah.
it
Will
totally
it be
makes sense.
successful? I don't know. Probably not. Who knows at this point?
Ooh,
You
I
think it's
think it
successful?
is, because I think it's successful and it's like a good send off to Seth Rollins. But I get it because CM Punk's gonna
Yeah.
be involved.
Ooh, you
So
changed, huh?
yeah, but I think I think it's a
Okay.
successful cash in. He wins the title. An evolution thing happens where they kick him
Okay.
out. Then maybe he loses it back to CM Punk. Because typically those runs are
Hmm.
typically short, Money in the Bank runs, with even with the title. So, but that's a good send off for Seth Rollins to get fixed up if it's a legitimate injury.
Yeah, and
So yeah.
yeah, it's typically with that. I know a lot of people have talked about it, but you actually don't need surgery for that usually in that world. F
Okay.
unless it's higher grade tear or something like that. But a lot of people can rehab it.
hmm
I guess they're giving him the option to do surgery only because these high level athletes, they really need to get back in tip top shape. So maybe that's the reason. But I think in the real world, these injuries can kind of heal on its own with rehab. That's why he's doing it, I guess.
Well, let me ask you then, like in your level of expertise, like do you think if he doesn't rehab this with surgery, do you think he can? How long you think he's stays in or stays out for? And with surgery,
Uh,
how long you
I'm
think
definitely
he
not an
would be out
expert in
for?
any of this, but if he
hmm
rehabs it, he probably could get back to wrestling, a match by WrestleMania time, because that would be, it's usually
Okay.
like a 6 to 8 weeks, non-operative. And then
Okay.
if he does choose to operate it, typically it's like a 4 month recovery for full back to normal and everything.
Oh
Yeah, but
wow.
that's only. But usually you don't need surgery for that. So, I, you know,
Okay.
don't leave it up to me. It's we're not the tip top surgeons over here. So,
No, but it makes sense because you get kind of an idea, and it kind of lets you understand like
yeah.
what's going to happen next,
All right,
more or
that's just
less, you
based
know.
off research and some articles that we've read, so that I've read. So,
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be okay for WrestleMania, but we'll see. They're erring on the side of caution. That's all it really is, you know. And if he
it
does do
makes
surgery,
sense.
it'd be after WrestleMania.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like WrestleMania happens, and then if he does really get the surgery and whatnot, he loses the title to somebody, Gunther,
right,
CM
right.
Punk, somebody. But I think I'd like to see Damien cash in and hold a title, even if it's for
Yeah,
four
yeah.
weeks. I'd like to see him
All
grab
right, let's
it.
talk a little bit about this guy, CM Punk. Got this hoodie.
Let's do
Got this
it.
hoodie
Your
just for him.
favorite.
Um, Shout
Shout
out.
out.
But yes, he was my favorite to win. I'm not dissatisfied that he did not win because the dude's main eventing WrestleMania either way. It doesn't matter to me. Um, he came out blazing, with his shirt on. But once he took his shirt off, he got a little slow. I don't know what it
hmm
was, but maybe it was just he got tired or gassed, like you said. But when he had his shirt on, it looked like he was lightning quick. So I don't know what happened.
Okay, so well, I want to actually let you talk more about it. You're definitely more passionate about CM Punk. I don't really. Um, I think he needs a little bit more work. Yes, he's CM Punk. Obviously, he's fantastic and great on the mic, and used to be one time the greatest wrestler in the world. In his right or in his words, but where do you think he goes from this Rumble elimination, and what happens Monday?
Well, he's gonna say that Dusty's kid won, right? Because he said he wasn't losing to Dusty's kid, but now
Mhm.
Dusty's kid won. So he's gonna come into Monday saying that he still needs a way to get to the main event of WrestleMania, and he's probably gonna have a number one, not a number one, like a contenders match, uh, for the Elimination
Okay.
Chamber to qualify for it, and he's probably gonna beat someone credible to get in there. Is he slow? I absolutely agree he is. He is a lot 10 years older
Mhm.
than the last time he stepped in a Royal Rumble. So anyone 10 years older would be a little bit slow. So
Yeah.
the good thing is nobody really looked at Punk as a good wrestler, even back then with like Cena and everyone. Everyone just liked him for his character. So I think he has that positive on his side because there will be comments saying he's washed up, he's gassed, everything like that. And I agree in terms of wrestling ability, but at least he will still be a draw for the company.
Yeah,
So I think
100%.
on the business side of it, he will still get whatever he needs, and the crowd will still get what they want because what they really want to see is his promos, in my opinion. So
Yes, absolutely. I know that he took out
yeah,
Drew McIntyre. in the Rumble. You think there's anything there between them
Yeah,
for
future
a
feud
short
for sure.
time?
Yeah, because Punk already set up his multiple feuds with every person he's encountered. He's gonna have a feud with Cody.
Uh
He's
huh.
gonna have a feud with Drew, with Seth, with Roman, and the Bloodline. And well, that's the main people, obviously. But he already set up everything based on who he interacted with before, and that's gonna bring him into like the end of next year. At this point, he's only gonna wrestle like 4 times a year
That's true.
or 5 times a year. You know?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. How do you feel him not winning? You feel a little
No,
sad,
no, not
disappointed,
really.
expected?
I was okay with him or Cody or Gunther winning. You know, I just I
Yeah.
still want him to get to the main event of WrestleMania. But I don't need him to win. That's why I was kind of telling our friend Linda yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out to Linda.
But I don't need him to win the main event of WrestleMania, but I think he should get his moment to be there. That's all.
Fair
Yeah, and I'm
enough.
a big
Fair
fan. I would
enough.
love for him to win, but he doesn't need a championship to be big again. He can just go on and keep losing as long as his mic work continues to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um. Yeah, that's pretty much about Punk. But next person who came out didn't. I totally forgot that he even came out. Ricochet. You know, I don't remember anything he did.
Um,
Right? Nothing.
yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy. Maybe some high flying spots, but usually the high flying spots doesn't really pan out in the Rumble
Right.
matches. You know, unless it's with somebody else who does a high flying move. So nothing of
Yeah.
significance either for me.
Number 29, Drew McIntyre. We kind of already spoke about him and his role in the Rumble. We knew he was going to be a top guy, top player in the Rumble, and he did his job well.
Yeah.
Did you agree though? I know you're not as big of a Punk fan as I am. Did you agree with how he was
Hmm.
eliminated? Okay.
Yeah, I do. My only takeaway from this is though, and gripe is I wish he came out
Okay.
earlier to show that he lasted a long time, to make him look like he is still a top contender. He just had happened to lose just because he's tired, and there were too many people distractions or people involved or something like that. For him to come out at like a later number and get eliminated that fast just makes the other person look better and does nothing for him,
Right.
you know? So that's the
Yeah,
only
I
takeaway for
agree.
me.
I think he should have came out sooner, just like he did when he won the 2020 Royal Rumble. When he beat
Yeah.
Lesnar. I mean, when he eliminated Lesnar that year, when the crowd popped like crazy. That was one of my favorite
Hmm.
Royal Rumbles, by the way, when he won. I think he should have came out sooner too, and show that he was still a powerhouse. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then last person to come in, number 30. I don't know what people were trying to expect. I think people were just waiting for someone big. Could have been Okada, could have been anyone, but Sami Zayn coming out was fine with me because it doesn't change the outcome, right, of the match. So, what did you think about him like coming back? Was it a good time? Do you think he came back because Brock Lesnar didn't come and they had to fill another spot?
Um, I love Sammy, but when you really like somebody, but they come out at a last number and don't really do much, it's really tough because then the fans get disappointed. Again, same thing. I wish he came out earlier. The 30, some number 30 spot is a coveted spot. It needs to go to somebody who's gonna perform really well. Like I love Sammy, but maybe he should have been the top three or something. I don't know, but that's pretty much it. Nothing much to say about Sammy. Again, it's a sad return. It was an underwhelming performance, and he got eliminated
Right.
by Damian
So,
Priest. So
both
it is
matches at
what it
number
is.
30, you had Liv and Sammy coming out with underwhelming pops, that they were supposed to, because they both returned after a few months out. So,
Hmm.
yeah, number 30s just didn't do it because they're usually bigger. But, I mean, the match outcome and everything else was fine. So, nothing to write home about, as
Yeah.
we kept saying, this whole Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it. So that's the four major matches, and we had plenty to talk about, during about each wrestler. But final thoughts. We had no Big E, no Okada, no other TNA stars besides Jordan Grace, no legends. Uh, what does it look like for the future of WWE moving forward? Do they just keep pushing stars, our own current stars? Do we start branching out a little bit more into TNA and other wrestling companies? And what does it look like for this year of WWE?
Okay, well, I think they should just keep doing what they're doing, because yeah, it's great to have these TNA stars in. It's nice to have them in these large events, which makes sense. The only thing is, I think they just need to keep focusing on the people that they do have. There's no point of going to a grass is greener on the other side kind of approach. There's a lot of talent here that they just need to build on. So that's just my take on it, and I think they can do a lot with it. Um, that's pretty much it on my end. Just keep building up. Elimination Chambers right around the corner. Just keep pushing the stars.
Yeah, I
That's
agree,
it.
and I think fans should just be happy that they're getting the content that they're getting right now, due to everything that's
Hmm.
happening.
Hmm.
Just be happy that wrestling is alive and well in all three different companies. So keep watching every parts of it, and just be happy with the stars that you have now.
Hmm.
Not everything needs to be a surprise return for the outcome to be great.
Hmm. Exactly. And then for Big E's sake, like he's injured, and like why would he risk returning if he's not ready? Like when he's ready, he'll return. At this point, I think we need to forget about who's not here and focus on who
Right.
is here.
Because, even when there's surprise returns, and I know that's like the whole thing about the Royal Rumble, right? In the past, it doesn't change anything, moving forward. You already, you kind of know, who your stars are moving forward, and people should just stick to that. But at the end of the day, you don't make people happy. Obviously, we don't get happy at certain things, but the product currently is still good this year, 1 month in. So I think moving into WrestleMania season, it's going to continue to look good.
Yeah, exactly. And a little bit each at a time, and I'm really excited to see what happens. And kind of we were just kind of trying to see in this Royal Rumble, aside from the winner, what other rivalries kind of
Right.
brew from it. And that's really was my take. Just trying to see what happens with the stars, who's building on it, who's doing what. So I'm excited to see what happens in the coming weeks, and I'm really, really looking forward to Elimination Chamber. I hope it's good and it's not underwhelming. Um,
And
and
we're both
obviously
going to be
WrestleMania.
watching it. I don't know if you wake up in time, but I'm going to wake up at 5 to try to catch it so we can start our day right.
I won't wake up. I know that, so I'm not gonna sleep.
Really?
I'm gonna stay up.
That's a lot, man. 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's not too bad to wake up. It's like working out in the morning.
Eh, I will never wake up in the morning. I will never work out in the morning either. It just doesn't work for me. I rather not sleep, and for me that works way better. It's pathetic for probably you because you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
sleep,
I do the opposite. I wake
sleeping
up earlier
beauty.
to work out because
No, no, no.
it's just like in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
summertime when we run and stuff. It's like it has to be before the
yeah.
sun comes out or else it gets too hot. So we're just kind of used to
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, either way, we'll both get to watch it hopefully. So that'll be a good pay-per-view right before WrestleMania. And in the next few weeks, because we've been kind of AWOL, we will throw in a couple podcasts, and maybe we'll even make a prediction podcast about Elimination Chamber going into it. So people kind of have their takes
Yeah,
going
for
in,
sure.
and then coming out of it, we'll have a review podcast also. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think those will be nice. There are definitely other, stuff that we're gonna think about to bring forward. Little. It doesn't have to be, the long podcast. There are some smaller ones we'll do, light watches and stuff like that. So,
look forward
look
to
forward
it.
to it.
So everyone, just please keep following us, subscribe, like, share, whatever you need to do. We're at TB Wrestling Casuals on Instagram, and you can find us on YouTube and Spotify also. And just stay tuned for more. All right.
Let's do it. Looking forward to it.
Peace.